Shorties.
Hi, Shorty. Fingers crossed, StreamYard's being a little bitch tonight, apparently. Very frustrating when we're professionals here. I'm fucking professional.
She's a fucking professional. No goddamn it.
Miss Shorty, you're muted. Miss Shorty, you're muted.
God, yes.
Endearing, it's iconic. Cheese breaks, fake breaks, staying hydrated. It's Shorty time. She's a fucking delight. Trial watching, trials and tribulations. It's Camp Shorty calling all nations. What are you drinking? Shall we skip this part? Left or right-handed? Shit, she slid it to the start. She's a fucking professional. Yo, goddammit. You're muted, what? And daring, it's iconic. Cheese breaks, fake breaks, staying hydrated. It's Shorty time. She's a fucking delight. Psychology corner. Let's learn about stuff. New Miss Shorty music. Calling their bluff. Best chat, best community. We've got the best minds. A safe, supportive sanctuary full of fun and love. Rock out with your cats out. Curse all you want. And here at Camp Shorty, we even say cut. She's a fucking professional. You goddammit. You're muted, what? And daring, it's iconic. Cheese breaks, fake breaks, staying hydrated. It's Shorty time. She's a fucking delight. Hey, Shorties, what's doing, y'all? Get in here, Shorties. Let's fucking go. Camp Shorty. Camp Shorty. Camp Shorty. Camp Shorty.
Hi! I forgot to put myself on the stage. Hi, Shorties. It's like, hi, good to see you. Hi, Shorties. It's like, hi, good to see you. The dog's like, we're doing it again. Oh my God. Oh, you guys. Hi, Buster. Buster comes in and out of. Hi, everyone. Hi, pigsy around too. These guys, these are so expensive. We went through $10 worth of pigsies, just like that. A big gentleman's one. Whoa. And a poppy lady one. K. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Simmy's here. Laura's here. Ms. What the Fuck's here. You were just a floating torso? Oh, yeah, me. I was pulling my pants up because I went to the bathroom and I was getting them up higher, hiking them right up. And then I... Yikes. Green screen's funny. It's doing weird things now because there's some light coming in around. Oh, well. You can see my plants if I move quickly. I haven't actually got the green screen up. It's a bit of a drag. Buster popping in and out. Exactly. So ready for this topic. Yes. Now, good point. Thanks, Christy. Hi, good to see you. Now, so normally we watch Dr. Ramani and we watch Lisa Beaulieu. We saw Dr. Karen Mitchell. So tonight I've been, I don't know, my algorithm's been throwing me some Chase Hughes interviews and I'm a big fan of Chase. Very inspirational. He's got some really good insights on human behavior. He's a neuroscientist. So we are going to watch an interview he did with somebody who's a bit of a broski, I'm going to say, but in a, I want to be appearing as a very intellectual broski. So I gave this caveat in the last live stream, the part 2, day 6 of Jesse Kochevsky's trial replay. But I'll give it again now. We'll have some moments where we're like, "Ugh, bro, like just not with Chase, but with the interviewer. But it does smooth out a little. Like, I don't know whether he's just trying to, I don't know, it was a dick swing competition or something. I don't know. Why would you try to dick swing with Chase Hughes? If you're not familiar, Chase Hughes is one of the 4 fellows on the behavior panel. Fascinating man. Fascinating man. So before I'll go to replay for in a minute. Boogie says, "Hi, Boogie. Girl, have you ever taken a potty break? I just raced to the bathroom then. In fact, I did go to the bathroom even when the intro song was in its like final minute. And I was like, ooh, I hope this isn't a big pee because I might be missing the start of the show. But I was pulling up my pants and Miss What the Fuck could see me because I'm like, she could see because she's backstage and I'm backstage. And she couldn't see me without my pants up, but I was hoiking them up higher. So yes. You know what though? For the longest time, I'd never taken a toilet break while we were streaming. These days, I'm like, nah, if I need to go, I need to go. I'm far too old. Far too old. Laura says, I'm still researching rabbit food and training treats here. Pet stuff ain't cheap. I sympathize, Lisa. I literally went back to work so that I could pay for vapes, probably equal first, and these bloody idiots that cost me an absolute fortune in food and treats. I spend, like, if I give them, so a bag of these pigs is right. Welcome to Talk Chat. A bag of these, even at Aldi, that's $15, and there's 5 in there. So on a day like today where they've just had 2 rounds, that's like more than $10. Is it maths? Yes, it's like $12 or $11.50 worth of pig's ears, which is quite a lot. And like they they prefer lamb chops, fresh lamb chops, and the bones, which like 6 weeks ago for a tray at Aldi, again, like the cheapest meat you can get like was for 6 of the budget ones was like $17-18. Like 6 months ago, that was $14. It's now $25 for the same. And they look at me in the morning when I'm giving them like poverty ground beef or gravy beef. So the like, we're just like, even to think of, oh my God, they eat so much. And they look at me like, where are the lamb chops? I'm like, dude, if you have 3 lamb chops shared in the morning or the night, whatever, breakfast or dinner, and it's and there's 6 in a tray and it's $25 for 6 lamb chops, we are not doing a $12.50 breakfast. I'm sorry, I could get eggs Benedict at a cafe for that. Please. So that and Timmy likes the fresh meat too. So I oh, of course they do. And of course, whatever they want, they'll get. Now, replay crew, hi. Everything will be timestamped down below for you. And if you'd like to watch the live chat replay on your handheld device, your Android, your iPhone, your tablet, I've got a predisposition of bias towards Androids. It's totally a me problem. Anyway, all you need to do is go to the comment tab, the 2 little dots at the right, and swipe left. It'll give you the option to watch the live chat replay, as well as hyping, as well as leaving a comment. Thank you so much. Now, Bookie, I'll put you in the draw. Thank you. I'll do that in a minute. Someone was what the fuck will remind me. Excuse me, clearing my throat. Simi says, she said what I feed him for dinner is great. The snacks are what's making him fat. Yeah, these guys, they don't get any other snacks other than, when I leave for work in the morning, I give them a little stick chewy thing. But they have their biscuits all the time, their dry food, and the pigs is on the weekends. Double whammies yesterday and today because we've done double streams. Miss What the Fuck in the backstage says, girl, if you weren't here, I'd have you covered. I'd throw on some baby shorties. Yes. What, on the Barbie? Like a shrimp? Lol, kidding, jokes. Hi, Colours, good to see you. Good timing. Now, Colours might have some issue with this one because Colours has some issues with Chase Hughes. But I think that, and we're all going to have a little bit of issue with the broski of it all. Let me just make sure I've got the right one. Pause. Yes, it is. It is. It is. Oh my God. Actually listened to probably about 8 hours worth of Chase Hughes interviews this week. Very fascinating. Fascinating. So, oh no, Colours says, oh no. Yes, Colours, but that's okay. You can rant and rave from the comments, from the chat. I don't mind. I understand full well that this is, that I did say Chase Hughes. So Colours, suspend disbelief on your issues with Chase Hughes and listen to what he's talking about per the topic, okay? That's all. That's all I'm saying. But thank you for being here. It is on the thumbnail. I made it very small so it didn't look like I was trying to advertise that I was interviewing Chase Hughes. Although, sidebar, not in this interview, I don't think, but in another one I listened to this week, or watched, or listened to, you know me, he did mention that he has appeared on channels that have only 400 subscribers, and my ears pricked up and I thought, well, sir, what's your email address? Shall I drop you an email? So I might just do that. That would be pretty cool. Why is it? Oh, because it's not full screen. God, you know me, every time I'm like, why? How do I do this? How do I do this? So he does go in the middle, into some stuff about psyops, which, I mean, if you're staying out of Twitter or just Twitter, you probably won't quite be down with that stuff. It's a very short segment of this conversation. He also talks about some crypto in this, I think. God, I've listened to so many this week. But mostly it's about reading people and influence, and not in a shady 180 way, in a, I don't know, using verbiage that's convincing. I don't know.
Telling
Oh,
you
pause,
that we are
pause. So there's the boy we're going to maybe perv on if he's your jam, but also it's the boy that's a little bit broski. He's a fraud and a liar and has done scams and bad things to women, but it's fine. Don't buy his crypto, please. No, he doesn't talk about, he doesn't. I don't think he has. No, he's talking about, it's like economic stuff, and it's not him, Chase Hughes, talking about it. It's the host. Can't remember what his name is. Broski. Chase doesn't. I think this is from like 5 months ago. Wait, not full screen. 5 months ago. Have I liked it? Yes. So 5 months ago. Chase Hughes joins me to explore how behavioral science can help us understand human nature, the origins of social anxiety. He's like, the stuff he talks about is so good. The power of focusing on others, building intuition to detect incongruent behavior, and how to handle online criticism and manipulation. We dive into the consequences of concealed shame. I love this. Radical self-forgiveness is something that Chase preaches, and I love that. As someone who has a lot of regret in their lifetime, radical self-forgiveness. The value of radical truth and forgiving yourself, the psychology behind money printing and propaganda, the basics of interrogation, and how mind control has shaped modern society. This is my jam. Colors, don't spoil it for me. I love you. Okay. So it starts with a bang, I guess. Bazinga. Thanks everyone for being here. Have you hit the like?
we are in a psyop, 1,000%. Most people, they're just going to be governed by these unconscious patterns.
This is right in the middle of the
and
interview.
they're navigating that accordingly.
Everything that I'm judging in another person is me. It's all me. We are all one. If you think this comes down to like left versus right, you are a victim of psyop.
Politics is a puppet show. It's all here to distract you.
When we were talking earlier about a loneliness epidemic, your head was nodding the whole time. Who talks about it? But the thing that is keeping most people back that you'll never see in these courses and books online is carrying shame, concealed shame.
Okay, so that sounds like something that's probably pretty widespread.
If I can find a woman that's like my mom, I can put myself in the situation so that my open loop from childhood, I can figure out how to close it.
Wow.
So that's when people are getting all these toxic relationships. You and I shook hands out in the driveway.
Yeah.
You didn't smile.
Oh, really? I did.
So it was 2 seconds into our interaction, and I had like the, okay, he's a type 7.
We can stop there if you want, by the way. I don't want to go into
Well,
but if there's something else you want to say, please go ahead.
You're obviously a psychopath, but
So pause. The one thing I think I mentioned it in the last stream, but lol, oh my god, so funny. This guy, he's trying so hard. Like he's obviously very intelligent. The interviewer. What is his name? Bob. Is it Bob? Bob Breed Love. But he's trying to pump up his own tires heavily, and make himself seem. I guess he's sitting across from Chase Hughes in Chase Hughes' own home, so he says, what is it? Decomplexify. I think that's the word. It's a made up word. And I was listening to it and I was like, I had to actually scoot back and go, wait, what? What did he say? Why don't you just say simplify? You don't need to complexify. Anyway, so take the guy. He does relax into it, the interviewer. So eventually it's 2.5 hours long. We'll only do half or however long we go. There we go. I'll probably get a strike for this, but that's all right.
So you began your career in the Navy.
yes.
But then you shifted at some point into studying behavioral science. How do those two things dovetail together? How did you go from being in the Navy to being a behavioral scientist?
I joined the Navy when I was 17. Like my parents had to sign like a permission slip for me to join. And I stayed in the Navy for 20 years. So I retired. I did a full retirement from the Navy, but I got obsessed with human behavior and kind of what makes people tick when I was 19. And I was in Waikiki Beach. I was stationed in Pearl Harbor. And I was at this Irish pub and I got turned down by a girl. And I went home and I typed in how to tell when girls like you onto the internet. And I got really good at reading people. And it was just because like, I didn't want to face rejection again. I wanted to have this big list of here's what to look for. And I got kind of obsessed with this because I started seeing people's weaknesses, their fears, their insecurities that I always thought were, private data that you can't see that stuff. And it's a lot more on public display than you would ever realize. And I think I got addicted to it because I had some level of maybe social anxiety or something. And the more that I could see like, oh, everybody else is screwed up. It's not just me. I'm not the only person that's screwed up here.
So you started seeing in other people what you were experiencing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like little insecurities and little fears that they had and seeing like they're human beings as well. And I think just seeing the delicate side of people became addictive because it just destroyed my social anxiety. So I got addicted to
Pause. Colors. They actually go into this, and he actually kind of like I did preface this dirty pause. Sorry, Chase. I did preface this by saying it's a totally different vibe to what we're used to listening to and watching. It's two guys talking, kind of boy topics. But honestly, I've been forcing myself to listen to things lately that really challenge my comfort zone. Things that like normally I'll be like, no, this makes me feel uncomfortable, I'm out. And you don't learn that way. So what we can do, and I think this is a really good exercise to just watching this, is that we can watch things with discernment. We can read things with discernment, and we can then use our discernment to take from what we've learned and heard the things that resonate with us, and the things that maybe aren't our jam we can set aside, but we haven't insulated ourselves by way of comfort zone. Like my literal mind has been getting blown for weeks, like blown. My horizons have expanded so thoroughly in the last 3 weeks, and it's like I haven't watched any or listened to any true crime in about a month. None other than what we do in court here. Nothing. I have at the moment almost no interest, which is frightening. I will come back to it, but I have been actively, I've been actively um, riding the wave through some offensive takes, quite offensive takes on some things that I've been in the literal spaces I've been on Twitter, and it's been helpful for me to realize that I can be in an arena where I don't love everything I'm hearing, but then I'm not being convinced on those things. I'm just setting them aside and not letting them come with me. It's cool. It's cool. Discernment. So I think it's important for all of us to, like, I would have never watched this guy, this broski. I love Chase though. So I know Colors doesn't. Anyway, sorry, Chase. Oh wait, what? Wrong screen. Let's get going. It's very interesting. So that's what we're doing. We're kind of we can set aside the things that we're like, hey guys, and we can not cherry pick, but just like sort of siphon off the important stuff and realize that we can watch and listen to things that maybe aren't 100% our jam, but otherwise we're never going to grow.
Doing that over time. And then right as I was kind of getting good at that stuff, at the body language part, my friend was killed on USS Cole, the attack that happened on 9/11 in the Gulf of Yemen. Craig Weberly is his name. And I read all these intel reports, the assets that we had, the agents, the intelligence Jason Bourne dudes that we had over there, didn't get all the intel that we needed from the agents that were on the ground and stuff like that. Could have been prevented.
Who am I?
If we
I'm
had
fucking galvanized.
So I thought, let me just teach this to the government. Let me develop the system. Like, this is stuff that I could teach. And then I went to some of these government trainings. I went to government interrogation training and interview and all this other stuff. And I thought, it's the government. It's going to be like the best. It's going to be the best in the world. And it was like, hey, shake somebody's hand firmly, make some eye contact, use their name a little bit, touch them on the shoulder. And like, that was it. Like, that was a U.S. government spy training was about at that level. So I started getting all of this other stuff in because I'm looking at the interrogation operations that are happening over in the Middle East. How can we do those better? So I just went rabbit hole down into extreme hypnosis and brainwashing and how.
Pause. Colors. He's using generalizations, and we actually keep listening. Colors, keep watching. He goes into, he does do coaching for some individuals within governmental agencies. It's just that in an introduction phase of this interview, it's a 2.5 hour interview, right? Conversation. So Ashley Banfield. Yes. So I mean, like I have a really soft spot for Chase Hughes. I don't think it's this interview. He talks about the treatment that he's like his brain issues. It's another one I listen to. We'll watch it another time. But there's a lot of overlap in some of the conversation. But I'm just so proud of him for still being alive. Like, wow. He's a, and also colors. Wait, pause. Colors. Don't forget to, when he says that he's lying, this is why he's like the king of this stuff, in my opinion and in Chase's opinion. And I mean, his ability to interrogate and influence, and that's what a lot of this is about, is going to come out like he's a little bit of a shapeshifter, and that's why he's good at what he does. And if you keep that in mind, he's imparting his secrets. Okay.
Mind control works, and like every possible thing. I spent weeks on end with cult recruiters in California, and in San Bernardino. I've spent weeks with dudes that their whole job was talking young girls into doing adult movies.
Wow.
So like, I wanted to figure out, because like if you're a foreign national, right, and I want you to give secrets of your country to me, you're agreeing to face the death penalty. So all of this was about talking someone into doing something that's not in their best interest.
Mhm.
And I really honed in on that and did a whole lot of study. We came up with this system called NCI, which we teach now. It's neurocognitive intelligence. Is the system that the DIA gets trained in, and all these intelligence dudes. And I even train psyops.
Mhm.
It was a long answer to your question.
Wow. No, it's a great intro. So the social anxiety piece is interesting to me because I don't think I realized I suffered from it until retrospect. It's like, as I got older, I realized I was much more anxious and nervous in social settings.
Yeah.
And partly through this job, partly through public speaking, these things, you kind of like, I don't know, I did enough reps to maybe sort of get out of it. I feel like it's still there to some extent.
Yeah.
But now looking back in my early 20s, I would be like unnecessarily nervous in a social setting, like, very safe social settings, right? Just out at a party or whatever.
Yeah.
What is it? Why do we have that? Why do people, that doesn't seem, it seems like most people really enjoy social situations.
Yeah.
Why are we, I don't know, are we programmed to have this? Is this something culturally that we develop? Like, where does social anxiety come from?
On a 1 to 10 scale, how deep do you want to go on this?
Well, this is a deep show. So
Let's go deep.
let's go deep.
So if we rewind history, pick a number, thousands, 10, 20, 50,000 years.
Mhm.
That's what she said.
And our species is about 220,000 years old. If we did something that made our tribe, an average group of people was 110, 115 people, everybody hated us. Everybody made fun of us, or we got like a whole lot of social judgment. No sex,
Oh, I'm lagging.
maybe no food, no preferential treatment, and my DNA stops existing.
Death penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everything meant like every mistake our ancestors made was like either no food or no sex, right? And the cool thing is that everyone that's listening to this right now, none of your ancestors died a virgin.
Yeah.
They all banged somebody.
Right. We're all winners. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why you hear this popular thing that you hear when people say public speaking is the number one fear. It's the biggest fear.
Right.
It's higher than death on this. But it's not the speaking that's causing the fear. It's the fear of social judgment.
Right.
So when I train anybody, I train all kinds of people all around the country. I have all these courses and stuff. But the first thing that we teach these people, number one, is a complete openness to being socially injured.
Okay.
So a fear of social injury is always there. So
Which is embarrassment? Is that what social injury is?
yeah, maybe embarrassment or public judgment. Maybe lots of people are talking about you or laughing at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which means may not have sex, right? So
IDK,
at the end of the day, we have
IDC
ancestor
about
stuff
that.
that we inherited from birth. And even we inherit facial expressions. We have 7 facial expressions when we're born that are just pre-programmed in our brain, ready for us to launch. And then there's some we inherit in our lifetime. So elementary school, middle school, those formative years, we get made fun of, we get kicked in the balls in front of a cafeteria full of kids. That happened to me. And that stuff changes you. So the cool thing is that, and what might be reassuring for anybody that's listening that feels any social anxiety,
Not you, you're
those little voices that say they're going to laugh at you, you're not enough, you're faking it. I'm rated as the number one expert in the world in my field. I have 3 number one best-selling books in my field. Number one best-selling book in hypnosis. I have the number one best-selling book in behavioral psychology, and I feel like I'm faking it sometimes. And that voice is still there. So here's the key difference between somebody who's like a king on the chessboard.
I think he does go into it a little bit. He talks about a few of them as the grief. There's the grief, the shame, the surprise, the shocked, the happy, the angry. What's that, 6? I think there's some presumed understanding in this.
And somebody who's afraid to like step into a room full of people or have social anxiety is how you're hearing that voice, because both of them hear the same voice.
Right. How you respond to it.
Yeah. Well, it's how you understand what it is.
Okay.
So like if we're at your house right now, and if I was coming to pick you up and let's say you and I were going to lunch, and as I was coming to get you, I'm listening to a really cool audiobook. And in this audiobook, there's a fake news broadcast. And it's a news broadcast about this nuclear war starting. Russia's launching missiles. U.S. is
Pause. Talk about broskis. I mean, they're both mirroring each other with their posturing, but they've both got their feet on the table. Boys, get your feet off the table.
launching missiles. And as I'm picking you up, I'm in the middle of this fake news broadcast. You open the door, you get in,
Freak out.
and I'm driving, and my heart rate's fine.
Yeah.
I'm looking around, looking at the trees. I'm watching somebody walk their dog by. I'm completely relaxed and totally comfortable. And you are freaking out. Your heart rate's going up. Your cortisol levels are going up. You're freaking out because your Maslow's pyramid is like you're falling down to the bottom of Maslow's pyramid.
Yes.
We're both hearing an identical thing.
Right.
We're hearing the exact same thing, but I am fully aware that I'm hearing fiction.
Yeah.
So that's the only switch that needs to get flipped.
You
Is
have the right context.
yeah. Do I have the
Hey,
context?
Razor, good to see you.
And I think most people, if you spend a little bit of time, you'll realize that that's probably not your voice. If you had to spend some time to like, have these little thoughts that come to my head, like, what does that voice sound like? That's a child telling you those things. So like if a 6-year-old tried to tell you that, you don't look good today, nobody's going to like your hair or something like that. It's funny. It's cute. So we're hearing fiction once we understand the context of where those voices are coming from.
Man. So we all have voices in our head.
Yeah.
That's kind of one thing you could probably just say and get it out there. So it's people aren't.
No, actually, that's not true, sir. We don't all have voices in our head. Apparently, what's the statistic? Is it only 20%? It's a 20-80 split. I'll Google it. I think it's 20% do have an internal monologue, 80% don't. So, bro, fact
feeling
checking.
crazy perhaps, but the fear, that the inbuilt fear of being socially ostracized is what's giving us the natural anxiety in social settings. But what about, not everyone suffers from social anxiety. A lot of people thrive in social settings. So what is that? Are they just interpreting those voices differently, or like?
Yeah, so they have a different upbringing, but there's still a fear of social judgment.
Okay.
But the difference between those people and others is that they have a lifetime of evidence. So like they were lucky that like no big things happened. They didn't have to overcome obstacles. So they have evidence in their back pocket that says nothing's going to happen. Things are going to be okay. I may not know precisely how this night is going to end, but I know everything's going to work out fine because it always has before. And that's usually the difference. Those people that seem natural at it.
Okay.
But everybody that's gotten to be good at it. I'm an extreme introvert. So like I speak on stages all over the country doing book signings. I'm on TV a lot. And
there's a new poll.
Like in the middle of every time we have a break, I'll go hide in the bathroom just to have some recharge a little bit. And I think at the end of the day, what we're really looking at is, if I can get that voice to sound like fiction in my head, and I understand that I'm not fighting that voice. I'll say that's a huge problem. That's not an enemy. That voice became that voice to protect you. It had your best interest at heart at one time. You were probably 8 years old, but it had your best interest at heart. And you can't be at battle with that. It's a child that developed that. And the second layer of this is, do I have permission to behave a certain way? Because we're trained, especially in Western countries, like, do I have permission to act a certain way? So one of the stories I tell all the time is the average person who makes like $50K a year, they walk into what's that expensive handbag store, or Hermes. They walk into an Hermes store. The bags are like 10, 15K for like a purse or something. But the moment they walk in there and the employees like turn their head to look who's walking in, those neutral facial expressions, they're not neutral to them. They look judgmental.
Interesting.
Pause. Good question. Chase Hughes, I think, is 44, 45. So he's on that cusp between Gen X and colors. Ms. What the fuck? I don't know the generations. I don't know about this broski here on the other side. The bro. He's Gen X. So he's Gen X. Chase is Gen X. The other guy, I don't even know who he is. Bro. I think they're about the same age. But yeah. So Grazy, you came in a little late. That's not the point. Bro on the left, it's his interview. He's the host. Chase Hughes on the right. bro on the left is really trying to dick swing with Chase Hughes for a lot of this, or he says a lot of big words and tries to be like sort of inflate himself in terms of his intellectual capacity. He is very smart, and when he relaxes into it, they relax into it a bit. After it takes about an hour, and it calms down a little bit. But this is two alpha males being alpha males, I think. So
They look a little threatening,
Right.
like, oh, they know.
Yeah.
So that person's walking around the store. I don't belong here.
Mhm,
I don't have permission to be
mhm,
here. I
mhm.
can't afford anything in here. So these neutral behaviors of the employees are threatening, judgmental,
Interesting.
all that happens. And then you take the same person. Let's say I give them my company platinum card,
Mhm.
and I say, hey, I've got a client flying in from Dubai this evening. Go to Hermes, give me the most expensive badass briefcase that they've got. That same exact
just
person,
watch
card is
Princey.
in their
Avert
pocket.
your eyes.
They
Zoom
push
in.
that door open completely differently. The facial expressions are different. Their posture is different. They
Yeah.
make good eye contact with
Mhm.
people. They smile.
Mhm.
They're in a better mood. And not one person knew that the card was in their pocket. And that's our permission. So permission
I talked over that way.
and roles are the same. Like that
I'm gonna
person
scoot
that I
back.
gave the card to, they have
Yeah.
a role. Food person. Card is in their, hey, I've got a client. Employees are threatening, judgmental,
Interesting.
all that happens. And then you take the same person. Let's say I give them my company platinum card,
Mhm.
and I say, hey, I've got a client flying in from Dubai this evening. Go to Hermes, give me the most expensive badass briefcase that they've got. That same exact person, card is in their pocket. They push that door open completely differently. The facial expressions are different. Their posture is different. They
Yeah.
make good eye contact with
Mhm.
people. They smile.
Mhm.
They're in a better mood. And not one person knew that the card was in their pocket. And that's our permission. So permission and roles are the same. Like that person that I gave the card to, they have
Yeah.
a role.
Pause, Gray. Not necessarily. I'm 50 and I've only got the very beginnings of grey hair. I haven't dyed my hair. My natural hair color is back to here now. And I mean, it's a little bit here. Not necessarily. They might dye their hair.
My
Right.
job is to go in here and do this.
It's very fascinating. So you use the word permission there, but it sounds like, I mean, if it's just the money that was in their pocket that enabled them to walk in there confidently,
Yeah.
For lack of a better term, is it the
Amos.
first thing that came to mind was limiting
Hi.
beliefs. You
Yeah.
know, like we
Oh, yeah.
often
Thanks,
people
girl.
suffer from
Oh,
limiting
wait.
beliefs.
Yeah.
It sounds like they had these limiting beliefs going into that situation,
That's
but then by
cookie.
virtue of their material resources actually changing, in this case, having the platinum card,
Yeah.
that's
You're in the drawer,
change in their
Amos.
material
Welcome. Thank you.
circumstances change their limiting beliefs. Is that correct?
I don't think it changes their limiting beliefs. What the platinum card in the back pocket changes their level of permission in a certain way of capability.
Okay.
So it's the belief of I'm walking in here is two things. It's capability and likely outcome.
Okay.
So my capability, can I buy anything I want in the store right now? Absolutely. And the outcome is going to be absolutely great because I'm going to swipe Chase's card and it's going to go through and I'll walk out of here with a fancy bag of leather, whatever.
Got it. So capability could be also skill set, right? Like if I sat in the cockpit of an F-16 fighter jet, I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, right?
Yep.
But if I was trained to do it, I'd feel confident because I'm competent, basically.
Yes.
So is that what we're saying? It's like it's something about the capability, confidence, competence.
Yes. And it's that outcome. Like if I believe in the outcome more than the other person, then I will always win the situation. And I need less from the other person than they need from me.
Okay.
So as a counter to that, to make sure no one thinks like, oh, I need to study 10 years before I have this feeling of permission in my body. If you watch the movie Catch Me If You Can,
Great movie.
it's about that dude, Frank Abagnale. And
I haven't seen it.
if you put him in a cockpit to fly a plane, everyone's dead.
Yeah.
He had zero competence and 1,000% confidence in everything.
I concur.
Pause. I'm just pausing to say, I mean, it's a very small sample size, but at the moment with 10 votes in the poll, there's a direct 80-20 split. Like I said before, I knew it was an 80-20. I couldn't recall whether it was 80 yes or 80 no, but it's 80 yes, 20% no. Interesting. If you haven't voted, whack a vote in. Do you have an internal monologue?
I concur. Yeah. And he did it because he believed in the outcome. Like he didn't have a specific outcome, but the outcome was things are going to be good. I'm going to do this. I believe more. I need less from the other person than they need from me. And that final piece of that is reactivity. Like whoever is reacting to the other person the most is not in charge.
Interesting.
So he caused other people to react to his behavior.
That when I used to box, they would always say that whoever set the pace of the fight would win the fight.
Yeah.
Okay, bro.
So like you get, and it's, I don't know, it's like your rhythm. Basically, you want them to fight according to your rhythm rather than you trying to react to their rhythm, because then that makes you susceptible, basically.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
What? Okay. So that sort of sounds like you would be an advocate for fake it. Not you're an advocate. Fake it till you make it can work. Now, of course, Abagnale by the end of that movie was, you know, I don't want to ruin the movie for anyone, but it doesn't completely work out for him.
Right.
Works for him for a long time, but then it eventually doesn't. So like, how should people be thinking about fake it till you make it? And then also, I guess we should blend in the larger version of that, which is like manifestation, right? Where people say you just sit there and you believe until poof, it happens.
Yeah. So unless you're a con man, then nobody has to fake anything.
Okay.
The confidence is not about, because the confidence is there already. You had confidence. All of us had confidence when we were 3-4 years old. No fear of judgment, no fear of anything. We're just very confident in everything. And like, even we're thinking, you know what? One of these days, if I jump off this playhouse in the right way, I might be able to fly. You know, we had just had this crazy confidence. We weren't faking anything. So it's not just that. It's realizing that no one is going to come tap you on the shoulder and give you permission to feel confident. It's never going to happen. And most of us, we don't have to fake anything unless we're, like, if you're not an OR surgeon, you can't fake that until you make it. But feeling comfortable in social settings, there's no faking. The permission is already there. The evidence is already there. So you're not having to fake like you're confident. You're just changing your beliefs about what's going on. So there's so many people that say fake it till you make it, to where the person. Can I go off on a tangent here?
Of course.
Yes.
So
we love tangents.
like if we both pulled our phones out right now and typed in how to be confident, you can type it in anywhere. YouTube, Google, LinkedIn, whatever. You're going to have probably the first whole page of results is going to be 15 ways that confident people command their presence in a room. 6 ways that Steve Jobs commanded respect. How to ace the job interview with ultimate confidence. Every one of those things is going to say really good posture, good eye contact, use a better voice, be comfortable with yourself, give a firm handshake. All of this stuff, those are symptoms of confidence. What we've been just talking about are the cause of confidence. And people don't talk about that. Like our culture, from the medical industry to probably your sector into the financial stuff, is obsessed with symptoms. I'm going to get the symptoms of something. But like, if I wrapped you in a heating blanket right now and squirt water in your nose, you don't have COVID.
Right.
I give you symptoms, but it doesn't give you the cause of that.
Got it. So there's, sounds like the conflation with correlation and causation to some extent too, right? That wet streets don't cause rain kind of thing. So the confidence is there. It's like almost the natural state, as you said, when we're 3 or 4 years old, but then we start to put on these limiting beliefs as we get older. And what is this? Are we assimilating ourselves to the culture, and we're maybe also learning to take other people's perspective, right? So like, as we judge someone, then we think, oh yeah, they could also judge me back. And then if you're in front of a large group of people, that whole process or dynamic is amplified. Is that what's happening? That we're going from like the natural confident state to this culturally, I don't know what we call this, culturally encoded state of self-judgment based on fear of judgment by the other?
Yeah, I think you worded that brilliantly. And to add to what you're saying, we have a genetic programming to fear judgment, and we have a lifetime programming from childhood. And if you think about this, how do we get it from childhood? How did you and I, we didn't have the internet growing up. I would assume we're about the same age. And the way that we learned is elementary school. Oh, Jimmy wore that hot pink tie-dye shirt to 3rd grade, and everybody called him all kinds of names. And we had a little thing that went in our head, like, note to self, don't wear hot pink shit to school anymore. So that was just in our lifetime, in our experience. So we had 8, 10, 15 little examples that stuck in our head, that are still stuck in our heads. Nowadays, we're seeing social judgment play out in mass by the millions of people. So social anxiety and loneliness, because of that fear, is at an all-time high. We're more connected, and there's this pandemic of loneliness around the entire world right now.
And not in our community.
technology driven largely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Because what did that do? That brought down the walls. Just it allows people to see into other people's lives more easily. So social judgment flows more easily. So therefore people have more of that amplification.
Yes, but we're also seeing social punishment come out, like cancel culture and all of this.
Yeah.
And we're even kids that are like, my son is 16 right now. And like the comments like on his social media is just unbelievable how mean teenagers are to each other.
And adults.
And it's
Fuck.
It's amazing that he just developed a thick skin. Other people are like, I'm deleting my account. Other people go do violent stuff because of it.
Yeah.
But we're seeing that play out in mass. But the catch to this, the kicker here is that if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's like just basic survival, then some safety, then belonging.
Yeah.
I need belonging. When we look at social media, Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever, that cannot replace the third layer of Maslow's pyramid.
Right.
So what we're getting is a placebo.
Yeah.
It's not real. We're
Like
getting a
pseudo
placebo.
belonging.
Yeah. So it's not actually fulfilling that.
Right.
So the problem that most people have is like, oh, I've got this little belonging because I'm in this Facebook group or fill in the blank.
Pause. That reminds me. I'm going to prime you for, well, prime myself because I reeled at some point. I think it's this interview, but it could be the other one. But at some point, Chase says, anyway, he spoke to someone, the interviewer, if it's this guy or the other guy, asks him how to spot a psychopath. Actually, I think it was the other guy. But anyway, Chase says, reels off a couple of things, and then says, and if they don't have any in real life friends, as in face to face in their local geographical area. And I was like, how dare you? That's assault. I have lots of in real life friends. They're just on the internet, sir.
And then we keep trying to go to these other things and we're falling down to level 2 of Maslow's pyramid. When I think I'm like, I need to look at hustle culture. I need to learn to be confident. I need to learn to sell. I need to high ticket sales, all of this stuff. We're shooting for the very top. We haven't achieved level 3 yet. So you have these people that have a placebo of level 3 and they're going to continue pursuing all this other stuff. And it's just rampant loneliness.
Right. So they're, as they try to ascend further up that hierarchy, they're building on kind of an unfirm foundation, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever wanted to live in an off-grid community with complete food, energy?
Okay, sir. There's a bunch of ads in this. Dude has got some fucking sponsors and entrepreneurial stuff going on. Jump ahead. Yes, I love that. Jump ahead. Man bun also. Next. There's another ad. So many ads.
iCoin Technology has released
Oh my God.
a slick, it is an air-gapped hardware.
I think it's 3.
I wanted to ask again about
2.
social anxiety because one of the things that helped me most, I think I heard this secondhand. I think I heard it from Jordan Peterson, and I don't know where he heard it from someone. That in a setting, if you're ever feeling anxious in a social setting, just focus all of your attention and energy on the other person that you're having a conversation with, like over the top focus, right? Like their features, their micro expressions, their clothes. Just like really commit all of your attentional faculties to them.
Yeah.
And then that basically leaves you no bandwidth or horsepower left to have that voice. It's like, concern, I guess. And that actually seemed to be pretty useful. Like when I first heard that and really started, I was already like, I guess I was late 20s, early 30s. So I was already kind of coming out of the, maybe just through repetitions of being in social settings, I was feeling less anxious, but that was also helpful. Is that accurate? And if so, why?
Yeah. So it's very accurate. And then, I mean, Jordan Peterson took it from this guy who took it from that guy.
Sure.
This dates back to Plato.
We're all nodes on the network.
Yeah. So, but it dates back to Plato's Republic, actually.
Pause. Simi says, holy shit, commercial much? I think you mean grifter much, but maybe drifter. I aspire to be able to have sponsorship on my work. It would be amazing. This is how people make good money. Like, not just this, but he's got 274,000. Excuse me, God, babes are good for you. 274,000 subscribers, I think. Wait. 224,000. Pish posh. Pathetic. I can't even get over 8,000. I can't even get to 8,000. I think this is, like people are doing an important work sharing conversations like this, I think that people should get paid for their work. And there's a jump ahead option. Maybe it's just me, but I have no issue with advertising to supplement, create an income.
Actually.
Okay.
So it's like pre-Christianity. And what the way that a lot of people are wording this nowadays, they'll use the word mindfulness, which has lost its meaning. It's so it's so everywhere.
Pause. My latest lot of sponsorship offers I've put from companies that are trying to sell me tufting rugs. This is what the fuck was like. Well, do you want to get into making rugs? I'm like, no. It's just like, well, there you go.
Pervasive. That's
No
lost its
money,
meaning.
just
But
10%
the
off
way
my
that I describe
rugs.
this every time is if you're in a conversation, you have to live in front of your eyes. You have to have conversations in front of your eyes. Your awareness, it has to be out here. It can't be back here. So forcing yourself to pay attention to the other person and all of like their story, their life, their eyebrow hair, whatever you're looking at, forces your awareness out in front of your eyes.
I mean, sorry, Simi, I'm not trying to single you out, but you said we'll lose viewers though. I don't know, man. He's got 220. How many views has this video got? I think people like there's a jump ahead option, so you can scoot straight through it. Oh my God. And again, let me see how many views this video's got. I think it's got like millions of views, this video. Sorry, lying. 427,000 views in 5 months. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, like big channels have a jump ahead option, so you just tap the button down the bottom. Otherwise, he'd have YouTube ads running through it, like I've turned off ours. So
where you're not considering and weighing how this is going to go. Are they judging me? Because a lot of that, the moment we worry about social judgment, we engage in what's called perception management. Am I sitting up the right way? Am I looking the right way?
Right.
Do I look stupid? Should I say this sentence? I'm going to go through it in my head before I say it, make sure it doesn't sound stupid. So it's perception management that we get into, which is way back here behind our eyes. So that's the way that I personally describe it, like just living in front of your eyes when you're with other people.
That's a great way to put it. And then
that was a really great point, and I was too busy being talking and skipping. So I'm gonna it's really good, really good, really good perception management. I think I've gone far enough back. Let's go.
And weighing how this is going to go. Are they judging me? Because a lot of that.
Okay, so they're talking. He's talking about social
yourself to
anxiety.
pay attention.
Wait, pause. He's talking about social anxiety. So this is a really nice little section that resonated with me. So I think for a lot of us too in this community with a high percentage of neurodivergence, who perhaps a lot of us do experience social anxiety more than say a neurotypical is likely to, although I don't know. Anyway, important
to the other person and all of like their story, their life, their eyebrow hair, whatever you're looking at, forces your awareness out in front of your eyes as much as possible, where you're not considering.
Pause again. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to pause. But so, Simi, you're saying you're having ads on our stream or his ads? Because I don't have any ads switched on this stream. We don't put on ads anymore until afterwards. Ms. What the fuck switches them on for replay crew? Sorry, replay crew, but you can skip through them. So if you're getting lots of ads, that's nothing to do with him, and it's nothing to do with me. That's YouTube being motherfuckers, because we don't turn on ads for any live streams anymore for about the last 3-4 weeks.
And weighing how this is going to go. Are they judging me? Because a lot of that, the moment we worry about social judgment, we engage in what's called perception management. Am I sitting up the right way? Am I looking the right way?
Right.
Do I look stupid? Should I say this sentence? I'm going to go through it in my head before I say it, make sure it doesn't sound stupid. So it's perception management that we get into, which is way back here behind our eyes. So that's the way that I personally describe it, like just living in front of your eyes when you're with other people.
That's a great way to put it. And then even
get out of your head, basically.
Describing that, like
easiest.
That's exactly what it feels like, almost like literally getting out of your head and having your attentional energies on someone else. But then also back in my mind, I'm like, as we're doing this podcast, you're giving me this answer, but I'm also trying to queue up the next thing, right? So I want to be fully focused on you,
right?
But at the same time, I want to know what I'm going to say to you next. So like, there's always this kind of dynamic tension.
Yeah.
And it can definitely go too far. One of the most frustrating things I've had with people in the podcast world is like those people that you talk to off camera, you know, they'll talk like this. So it's like, hey, how you doing? And then they get on camera and it's la 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 la. And I'm just like, that is so weird. Why? Do
I'm
you
the
do that?
same.
Why do people judge that? What is the? We just prefer that people be the same in all settings, or like what's going on with that?
We do. So this is another rabbit hole. Let's dig into it.
Love a rabbit hole.
So, well, you've probably had this experience before. You don't have to admit it, but most people have.
I'll do my best.
So you put on like your best suit. Maybe you're in your early 20s, mid 20s, or whatever. Like super nice clothes, hair's done up, like everything looks good. And like you've got a 9-foot pile of laundry in your bedroom. Your bathroom counter's just covered in shit, like dishes piled up, unpaid bills on the kitchen counter.
Never.
And let's say you read one of those confidence articles that we talked about. No, so you're gonna knock it out of the park. If you do all that stuff well, you've got all that stuff back at home that's not really lining up. If you do all of that well, it'll look good from the outside, but the person that's speaking with you will have a gut feeling. They're not a behavior profiler, they're not a body language expert. They're going to get this feeling like
Lady.
something was off. I don't know what it was.
Right.
Something just gave me this weird feeling. And in reality, we are manufacturing gut feelings in other people all day long. And we get really good when we learn how to do it on purpose. So that's discongruent behavior or incongruent behavior. So when my behavior is congruent, that makes other people have that gut feeling of everything is lining up.
Right. There's integration.
Yeah. So we have that, like, am I the same person off camera as I am on camera? Am I willing to invite my clients to my house? Am I willing to go on a podcast and then somebody meets me for dinner later tonight? Am I the same dude in both situations? And when
I'm the same dude also. I just have better eyebrows and pinker cheeks when we're live streaming and extra hair.
we see congruence, it automatically makes us flip a little switch in our head that says trustable or trustworthy. And that is huge in business.
Of course.
Or parenting or leadership.
Yeah. Any human
fill in the
relation,
blank.
basically. Yeah. Because people want to know that, well, you're not duplicitous, right? Like you're not going to say and do one thing now and then say and do another thing another time. That's not congruent, as you said.
Right.
What is it? Okay. But I agree and appreciate that. But at the same time, even in myself, I don't think any of us are perfect at it.
Nope.
And the interesting thing with the podcast is like, there's not even any additional people in the room, but it's like once the camera's on and once you're recording, there's like always at least a slight change.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Maybe some people are really good at this and they're just, maybe Joe Rogan's been doing it for so long. He's just the same guy.
No, Joe, there's a slight change in Joe.
Okay. So what is that the same dynamic you're describing earlier? It's like
Have
the
a bra on.
anticipation of social
Correct.
judgment, even if it's mediated through technology.
I think so. That like camera, I work with a guy on our YouTube channel. His name's Scott Rouse, and he calls this extra face. So like when you're in Hollywood shooting a movie.
Pause. I'm sorry, Chase. But like, I swear to God, I used to have to sometimes, depending on where I was at, particularly with everything that's been going on. There'd be times when the intro song would be rolling, and I'd be like, I don't know, just in my head, and then I'd have to like switch on a little bit, right? But I swear that baby shorty that comes on before I come on stream is mostly just to prime me to get my extra face on, because it's not an extra face. I'm genuinely laughing every single time. And the dogs pick up on that vibe too. You might have noticed they're even more frenetic when we go live these days. It's because my energy is there, because it's genuine. I love that baby shorty so much. I love her, all of them, but
movie or something, and there's extras in the background, and like they don't even have any lines, but they're just kind of hanging out like this, and then they say action, and the extras are like,
oh yeah,
like there's all of that tension comes out. It's such a perfect description of it. But it's like the knowledge, this is the way it was explained to me, the knowledge that something will become permanent and eternal about your behavior changes your behavior.
That's so funny. But
I would imagine the Romans did that. Like they're chilling out, they're hanging out there, and then the scribe comes in to write down all the shit they're talking about.
It's funny you brought up the Romans, because I immediately went to the beginning of the movie Gladiator, where it says what we do in life echoes in eternity. And so like that is kind of, I mean, that is the reality. Obviously, whatever you do, I mean, that's what happened, and that's what is now and will be was, if that makes sense. Yeah. But when it's recorded, it adds that extra layer of realness to the future. right? So
Yeah.
therein lies the additional anticipation of social judgment,
Yes. Or future social judgment.
future social
in
judgment. Yeah.
20 years down the road.
I want to go back to your son because you said he kind of got lambasted online and then just developed a thick skin and went going forward.
Yeah.
Maybe we're cut from the same cloth because I've been lambasted online pretty significantly
Bro,
myself.
welcome to
And at
YouTube.
first, I mean, I would like to think in the beginning I had been, reading a lot of Stoicism and Marcus Aurelius and all this. Is like, it doesn't matter, it's just words. But over time, it got to me.
100%.
But after I went through 3 of these, basically getting canceled 3 times. The third time, I think I finally felt
Same.
like, this is just how people are. People just do this shit. And like, it actually doesn't mean anything. And like, what it actually means is like, well, do I have loving relationships at home? Like, am I being good to my wife? Am I being good to my daughter? Like, am I good to my friends?
Yeah.
That's what I actually care about. And so I won't say that I've like completely detached from it. There's still some part of you that engages on social
Absolutely.
media, but I've definitely progressed, regressed. I'm not sure which one. I've just detached from concern about people's opinions of me
It's
online.
the let them ethos.
Is that,
right?
I don't know, is that healthy? Is that not healthy? Like, how should we be thinking about that?
I think it's absolutely healthy, incredibly healthy, because that's a placebo. It's not,
Mhm.
you have to treat it like it's just a bunch of NPCs. Like it's not real.
Mhm.
And I think Eddie Murphy said this the best, and I'll never forget. I watched this live. He was on Johnny Carson, and Johnny Carson's cheering him on. He's saying, like, this new movie you did, I don't remember what it was, but is getting these rave reviews.
Mhm.
And Eddie Murphy says, I don't ever read any of the critical reviews.
Mm.
He said, if I open a door to let that make me feel good, that's the same door that lets the negative things make me feel bad.
Bingo.
And Carl Jung wrote a lot about this, but this is about our concept of self. And does my concept of who I am and how important, successful, what my character is, where does that definition come from? Who's the one writing that definition? If it's not me,
it's a problem.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I've never, as a second note, I've never seen a successful person who is also a hater on the internet. Not once.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
I beg to differ, but everything comes out in the wash eventually, right? Yeah.
Man, there was something Denzel Washington said. He's like, you'll never be criticized by someone doing more than you. Something like that. It's like, those were useful words during those times. All right. So let's talk about, like, it's kind of a strange thing to talk about in a way. Like, everyone's different. Obviously, we're all unique, different genes, different experiences.
Yeah.
It's the one thing about reality that's constant is that every moment's different than every other moment, right? In some way. Yet we need to be able to decomplexify all of that.
I told
deal
you.
with it,
Just say simplify.
Probably the most complex thing we deal with as humans are other humans. So how do you think about, I guess the term you use here is like behavioral coding or behavioral science. Maybe that's more broad, but like trying to systematically understand how people behave and I assume why they behave that way. How do we go from this hyper complex world into more of this like kind of rigorous scientific decomplexification of it?
Okay, so
decomplexification.
Human behavior can be broken down into all kinds of different boxes. We'd make a giant Excel spreadsheet that would be really cool looking and also meaningless and not help very much. But if we can get to a point of understanding other people or other groups, we gain a tremendous advantage. And no matter what AI does,
pause.
If you just look,
pause, lady. Exactly. It's not even a word. It's so many. It's like actually the funniest like oxymoron. Just say simplify. And then decomplexification. Oh God, Buster. Decomplexification, Buster. He just fell down into the decomplexification. Just say simplify. He does relax out of this kind of dick swinging pissing contest thing. It's too funny. Decomplexification. Oh, it hurts. Oh.
Back through the Industrial Revolution, the computers, all of the Bronze Age, if you want to go back that far. Knowledge of human behavior and self-mastery, those two things determine who's on top. They determine who makes money, who gets elected, who leads countries, who writes history. So if we get to a point where we can understand that, individually, not like, oh, let's educate our society, but
Yeah.
I mean, individually, if I understand how people work, my communication with them is going to be different.
Mhm.
And I'm going to start seeing who they are as a reason. So
I
a second ago, you said, well, I got to a point where I realized people are just that way.
Mhm.
That's a level in these 4 levels that I teach. And
Pause,
there's
okay,
4
pause,
different ways that
pause,
you can
pause.
view other human beings.
Okay, this is like focus, chat focus. This is really cool. This next bit is really cool. And love, 10-10, focus. We'll decomplexify everything and we'll peel it back. We need some degree of decomplexification for this next bit, okay, chat? Ooh, poo. Sorry. Oh my God, I've gone feral.
And the first one, so if we imagine a scenario where you're driving down the road and somebody in some sports car or something like pulls up, deliberately pulls right in front of your bumper
Mhm.
and cuts you off, then sticks their arm out of the sunroof and flips you off, flips you the bird after.
I've actually experienced something similar to that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not fun. Yeah.
And so level 1 person is broken. So I'm viewing other people as this level 1 stage. This person that cut me off is broken. What do we do with things that are broken? Our instinct is to fix it.
Mhm.
So I need to rectify the situation.
Mm.
I'm going to go do the same thing to him. I'm going to maybe pull out a gun if I'm some weirdo. I'm going to pull up beside him, flip him off, curse him out, do something. I need to reset the balance of power because that person's broken and I'm going to fix the situation.
Mhm.
Level 2, same situation, is different. So I might still get a little emotional response. I might get really pissed off. I might secretly hope that he's going to swerve off and maybe T-bone into a telephone pole or something. But I'm not doing anything about it. Like he's an asshole. But I'm still getting this emotional reaction because all anger is like a secret desire to change something.
Interesting. Okay.
Which brings us to level 3, which is facts. So none of us get mad at storms or hurricanes or natural things that happen because we know there's no desire to change that in our head because we can't. So the anger at level 3, the anger goes away because that's exactly what you said earlier. It's a fact. That's just how people are. And somebody asked, like, I'm in the military. I ran a unit of like 149 people before I retired. And somebody came up complaining of this guy and saying, "Oh, he just lies all the time. And he won't ever tell the truth." And this is like a 19-year-old kid or something that was new to the Navy. And I said, "Well, what do you want him to do?" And they were like, "Well, he needs to tell the truth. He needs to be honest to everybody." And I said, "He can't do that." They're like, "Why?" I said, "He's a liar. That's what liars are supposed to do. They're supposed to lie. That's what they do." So I'm like trying to escalate him, up into this seeing people as facts. Like, why is that guy an asshole? Because he's an asshole. That's what they're supposed to do. That's their job. So there's a percentage of society that just does that. So above facts, then we get to reasons. So I view them as a fact. No big deal. My emotional reaction is pretty much gone. I have no anger about the situation. It means nothing about me anymore. People are just facts. And then I get to the level 4 is reasons. So now I understand that every negative behavior, everything I might judge another person is some kind of reason in that person's life. And now I get to understand this thing called the childhood development triangle that we teach it in NCI. It's what did I do when I was like eight-ish years old? What did I do to earn a feeling of safety? What did I do to earn friends or keep friends? And then what did I do to get rewards from authority figures, parents or teachers? Those 3 things, guarantee you see these people doing this in adult life. That's what they did when they were 8.
Wow.
So we see all these little conflict management patterns and how we like worm.
Pause. Remember last night I told you I had that revelation about me making the jam turnover things for my father when he got home from work and wanted to just have his gin and tonic and go and work. And I had that revelation that the reason I was doing that then and the reason why I still do things now is to keep them there just a little bit longer. That's why I'm like if I'm going to be honest, that's why I'm very generous with, like, I'm not Jesse Kaczewski. I'm not trying to buy you all, but my conditioning is such that I need to do things for people to keep them in my realm. That revelation came from this moment in this show. I'm going to scoot back just a little
And through
bit.
social, you see these people doing this in adult life.
Mhm.
That's what they did when they were 8.
Wow.
So we see all these little conflict management patterns and how we like worm through social situations, and we see weird behavior
Yeah.
when they don't feel safe or when they get into a relationship with somebody.
Yeah.
That's that triangle at work.
Wow.
So most of us are 8 years old, putting all of these little behavioral patterns into this backpack, and we're carrying this backpack without knowing it into adulthood.
Wow. And those become unconscious patterns of behavior.
Yeah.
Obviously, right? So
Until you make them conscious.
until you make them and that's one of my, I guess it's my favorite quote by Carl Jung at this point, but until you make the unconscious conscious, it will continue to direct your life and you'll call it fate.
Yep.
So the importance of trying to put words around these feelings or childhood traumas, I don't know if they're traumas or just experiences, to bring them into conscious awareness so that you can then modify them.
Yeah.
Seems to be kind of the name of this game, but then also understanding at the same time that most people, some, I don't know, aren't going to do that, right? They're just going to be governed by these unconscious patterns
To the grave. Yeah.
to the grave, and then navigating that accordingly.
Yeah. So which gets us into the reasons part.
Yeah.
The guy cuts me off, flips me the bird out of the sunroof. And I'm not seeing, if I'm a level 4, I'm viewing this person as a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my natural way of being. And my wife doesn't like it because she wants to get angry. She's like, oh, you need to do all that. I'm seeing an injured little 8-year-old boy there
Mm-hmm.
that got made fun of or something. And he had this agreement of, I will never be hurt again. No one's ever going to hurt me again. I will always be the aggressor.
Mm-hmm.
And I see an 8-year-old boy driving that car,
Mm-hmm.
or at least an 8-year-old boy who made an agreement to carry behaviors into this grown-up's life without this grown-up even knowing that it happened. So that's level 4. You get to level 5, it's a whole other story, but that's reflections. That's more of the Alan Watts side of everything. Like everything that I'm judging in another person is me.
It's part of you.
It's all me.
Yeah.
We are all.
Amos, do you mean if you laugh at the whole situation? I don't know, man. Comedy's a deflection. Hi, it's me. It's all most of us actually. It's I don't know. I reckon you. If you can just laugh things off, you're probably up there in level 4 or level 5.
Right. Yes.
And that kind of wisdom goes back way before Plato and
Yes.
before Christianity even.
You're
And
in level 4.
My grandfather had the best
It's just a fact.
quote about this. When I was growing up, he said, there's something about that guy I don't like about me.
There you go. Yeah.
And that's just a perfect way to describe it. Like I'm going to judge someone else to prove to my little shadow that I don't have that thing.
That's so interesting. I've also heard there's kind of like the flip to that too. I think this was Buddha said like, what you say
Such a
about
wake
me
up.
says more about you than it does me. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
As people comment on you negatively or positively, I guess.
Exactly.
That they're actually, it's their interpretive framework that
You
they're
didn't
kind of
need to say the
imposing
Buddha part, you
on reality.
dipshit.
Man,
Just
it gets
say
so
that.
complex though, because you also need feedback from people to modify your
Decomplexify
own,
it, mate.
you know, like your blind spots, for instance. I call it their blind spots for a reason.
Yes.
You need the mirror of relationship to see, quote unquote, see your blind spots and then change over time. So like, how do we filter all of this?
Yeah. Self-worth should never come from feedback from other people.
Okay.
And I would say that you're going to see all this stuff online. If you go look up, how do I feel confident? How do I get rid of social anxiety? How do I influence people? All of this stuff. The thing that's going to hold you back, like if you wrote me a check today for $10 million and I teach sales and influence and persuasion and all this.
Pause. Simi, that's my love language. When you all resist my love language, that it actually has the opposite effect. That's my love language, is doing things for other people. Night, Christy. Sweet dreams. Catch the rest of this broski conversation and decomplexify your life with the rest of this. We'll do part 2 next weekend. Thank you for being here.
And you said, I want you to develop the
decomplexify.
most badass, kick-ass sales script that's ever been written in the history of humanity. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And finally, let's say a year goes by and I finally got this one pager printed on gold paper, right? And I bring it to you. I'm like, dude, I've got this for you. I'm really excited about it. And you're like, all right, great. And then you take it and hand it to somebody on your sales team that has severe social anxiety.
Mhm.
It's now the worst script in the world.
Right. Of course.
So it's all about us, and who we are is more
Mhm.
important than influence. So when that happens is I'm making self-worth statements out of this,
Mhm.
which we shouldn't be doing.
Mhm.
But the thing that is keeping most people back that you'll never see in these courses and books online is carrying shame,
Mhm.
concealed shame, because we don't talk about it. And you, like when we were talking earlier about a loneliness epidemic, your
Mhm.
head was nodding the whole time. Who
Fine.
talks about it?
Pause.
How many, like even our
He's like, fine, fine, fine. I'll get the apron. I've got the apron coming, so I'll be able to give you a fashion show of it. Oh, wait, wrong thing. Ish.
closest friends, we're not going to go sit down and hang out together, go to a hot tub or go to the pool,
Mhm.
go play golf.
Mhm.
And they're going to be like, dude, I'm really lonely. We
Yeah, yeah.
can't talk about
Right.
that. So we carry concealed shame
Yeah.
about things.
Can you define shame? I'm sure it has a
Yeah.
technical definition.
Shame is, I shouldn't have done that thing.
Mhm.
I wish I would have acted another way
Mm.
and I could have changed an outcome about something, or I should not enjoy X in
Mm.
my life. I shouldn't have money
Mhm.
because of
Pause. I'm just pausing to say, sorry, I'll stop pausing, but a little bit. I'll make the pauses longer and fewer and far between. I'm actually in the middle of writing a song about should, because it's always in my head that I not to live my life by what I should do. And this actually inspired me to. I've got the bare bones, the first little bits of it, so that's coming.
this behavior when I was younger.
So this should was in all of those.
Yeah.
Right? I've always had problems with the word should.
Yeah.
It seems to be, well, used sparingly.
Yeah.
But everything you just described, I mean, that's part of being alive, right? I could have done this, handled this situation differently, right? We make mistakes every day.
Yes, could have.
Yeah.
I could have, not should have.
Oh, okay.
Those are
That's
different.
the line.
Okay.
Could have, not
So
should have.
I tell everybody in my life, and I even told my son this, like, you need to treat yourself like a golden retriever forever and be so self-forgiving of everything that's ever occurred in your past, no matter what happened,
I see.
that you're a psychopath almost, like
I
that
see.
you are delusional,
Mhm.
self-forgiving. It's only going to make your life better.
Wow.
Apologize when you need to. If you do something stupid, own up to it, obviously.
Yeah, own up
Hey,
to it. Yeah.
Jake, you just.
I don't know if the
Hi,
other person's
Jake,
going to
just
forgive
see?
you, but you forgive
Hi,
yourself
you're in green.
immediately.
Pink
It's
and
done.
green.
There's nothing you can do about it.
That's interesting. As you said, treat yourself like a golden retriever. I thought you were going to go into training, like you should be training yourself, but you went to the
You
self-forgiveness
can totally go in there. Yeah.
aspect. But there's also a
Yes.
training aspect, I would assume, because well, as you just said, own up to it. We were talking about this on our mastermind call yesterday,
Hi, Britt. Good to see you.
how we metaphorize maturity with ownership, right? We talk about like, oh, if someone makes fun of you online,
He just said metaphorize, which is that a word? Because we've already established that decomplexify and decomplexification are not. But anyway, I'm going to scoot back a little. I love Chase Hughes too. I have a very soft spot in my mouse. A very soft spot. Mouse work.
own up to it. We were talking about this on our mastermind call yesterday, how we metaphorize maturity with ownership, right? We talk about like,
Is it a
oh,
word?
if someone makes
I
fun of you
guess.
online, like own it. Or if you did something wrong and you get caught, like own up to it, right? They were using these words own as in, possess or control an asset, but it's ourselves, like be in possession and control of yourself and confess when you've done wrong in the past.
Yeah.
So, what's going on there? Like, what is it? So we need to train ourselves to be owned by ourselves? Like, which part of ourselves
Accountability,
owns the
sir.
other part of ourselves?
Accountability.
Yeah. I think there's one self. And I think when it comes to owning things, there's one way to own there. You can own it with
Yeah.
shame.
Mhm.
Yes.
You can own it with fear.
Mhm.
You can own it with obligation. You can own it with guilt. Those are like the big four:
Mhm.
shame, fear, obligation, guilt.
Mhm.
Or you can own it with just it is what it is,
Mm.
and see yourself as a fact
Mhm.
instead of all the other people, like those layers of
Yeah,
how we see
yeah.
people.
Hi, Poke.
Am I
Good
able
to
to
see
see
you.
myself as a fact? We're like, well, that's just what happened.
Wow.
Poke, you missed the best part. I warned everybody. I pre-warned everybody. This guy. This is like this. Okay, we've gotten quite a fair way into this. I'm surprised. I've been pausing a lot. It's not even on any fast speed. Time flies when you're having fun. This guy. It's a pretty broski interview. There's a bit of dick swinging going on. There's a bit of like alpha male thing going on. Actually is a really good conversation. I mean, I love it. That's why we're watching it. But he was talking about a situation and he said decomplexify something, and I'm like, I said, everyone, like, why not just say simplify? Why do we need to make simplify more complex with decomplexify? And then in the next sentence, he said decomplexification. God, so good. But yeah, it's a pretty cool conversation. It meanders through a lot of really interesting. It's quite a broad range of conversation. Anyway, Gary,
Something that
good to
happened.
see you all.
I'll definitely work to make this better in the future. I'm in charge of the future. I'm not in charge of the past right now.
Yeah.
But once you get to that delusional self-forgiving, you get into the mode of viewing
It's
life
not.
almost not in a bizarre way, but like a video game.
Okay.
Like, well, that sucked. Let's try to do better this
Let
next
him.
Right.
week or this
He
next
wants
month.
to feel bigger and smart.
Getting into that mindset,
Let him.
we're going just dripping back into Alan Watts again, but
Mhm.
we're getting into that, like, this might be a video game. Who knows?
Sure.
Um,
yeah.
And if I treat it like it's a video game, and
This is also an important point. I found this really helpful. Like I'm like bemoaning and being frustrated by the fact that it feels like we're in a simulation and what the actual fuck. Flip that over and maybe go, okay, so this is all just a game. I love this. I'm going back a little bit. Let's focus. Well, let's decomplexify the situation and I'll metaphorize it into a song.
our way, but like a video game.
Okay.
Like, well, that sucked. Let's try to do better this next
Right.
week or this next month. It getting into that mindset, we're going just dripping back into Alan Watts again, but
Mhm.
we're getting into that, like, this might be a video game. Who knows?
Sure.
Um,
yeah.
And if I treat it like it's a video game, and still I'm good to people, I'm good natured,
Mhm.
I have great intentions, I'm not
Mhm.
hurting anybody, I'm not trying to hurt anybody, then I think we tend to enjoy our lives more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like these are the regrets of the dying for the last 2,000
Right,
years.
right, right.
These
Yes,
are the
yes.
regrets of the dying.
Yes. No, that's a great point. I've heard many studies have been done around that, right? Where people talk about the regrets of the dying. It's often like spent more time with family, loved more, did the thing they wanted to always do, or always scared to do.
Burn the
Like,
good candles, eat off the good china.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. Okay, the delusional self-forgiveness. Like, I don't know if I'm connecting these dots correctly, but tell me where I might be wrong.
Yeah.
The factual reality of being human is that we mess up all the time, right? Like, we're making our outcomes
Like-
diverge from our intentions or our aims all the time, right? Like, whatever. There's countless examples. If you want a fun exercise, I've done this. Like, just count the number of times throughout the day, like, you make mistakes.
Yeah.
Leave your phone in the other room or whatever. Like, they're just
I'm going to say, I have a feeling, and he does allude to it. He has alluded to it. I think he actually, the giant biceps, the big muscles, the whole thing, the body posturing tells me that Bob Breedlove, what's his name? I think his name's Bob. Hang on, Buster. I'm pontificating. I'm walk and talk chat, TED Talk time. I have a feeling that this is internally, his 8-year-old boy is a boy who was made to feel not smart enough, not good enough, not big enough, and not impressive enough. So now he needs to be all those things. And when he's sitting across the chair in Chase's lounge room, by the way, this is at Chase's home, that he needs to prove himself to be all those things. And I have a feeling that everywhere he goes, he has that same need, which is actually the essence of this whole conversation. Oh, the first part of it was that we were Chase and Bob Breedlove, whatever his name is, this guy. You know what he needs to do? He just needs to decomplexify things and get back to basics and practice some radical self-forgiveness and maybe stop taking steroids. Just say.
hundreds a day, probably. By becoming delusionally self-forgiving, you're coming to terms with the factual reality of what you are, which is this like mistake-prone human being. Is that correct?
It is
Yeah.
fun.
Okay. And so it's funny because this is very scientific, I guess. We're like getting beneath all the shoulds and woulds and shoulda, woulda, coulda, and like what is.
Yeah.
And coming to terms with that.
Oh God.
Forget multivitamins and other supplements.
Forget man buns and hair back in ponytails. I mean, no shadow man buns, but a little.
Animal organs are the most difficult to prepare. And even when they are prepared well, they often
This was wild. I was driving to work listening to this. He's talking about animal organs as being the biggest, like it's just such a gruesome thing. Heart and Soil, clever name. Where if you take these capsules of animal organs, we're not going to make that, we're not going to decomplexify that and make it metaphorize it into something a little less gruesome sounding. Anyway, I digress.
don't taste vitamins, minerals, peptides.
And I was like, no, that's not accurate. I was like, That's accurate.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to fight him on the show.
Yeah.
Like, please use.
It's funny how that becomes like the standard of truth in a way, right? Like, what does Google the LLM say?
Yeah.
Okay, so the question I wanted to ask was this: the book that I read, Psychopath Test, it like sort of just profiled different psychopaths. Like they often, I remember, abuse animals when they're young before they go on to like abuse people.
Is what the
Yeah.
fuck.
But there was some test, and I read
It's
this a
major
long time
dispute.
ago. When I say read, I actually think I did the audiobook. I want to say that a test was developed to discover psychopathy in an individual, but it was developed in a way that it couldn't be gamed. And so the question, and this ties to a question I wanted to ask you earlier, where you were saying, hey, I want my son to know these facial expressions so he can sniff empathy in other people because that's really good for everything in life. The question I was coming up with there was like, if someone knew that, could they go in the mirror and practice those things and like be a good?
Yes, they do. Chase goes on. Again, I can't remember if it was before, and I feel like I would have. I have been paying attention to what they're saying, but it might have been in another interview. But Chase did talk about how maybe I wasn't paying attention. Wow. Just a reminder, though, a very easy way to spot whether someone's an empath and is a decent person or not a dark personality is if you're telling them something about your day, and perhaps Chase goes on to talk about it now. Keep listening, Lisa. When someone tells you a story about something, and if it's something, like, oh my God, I just got this, something they're excited about. If the other person is going, oh my God, we're like, wow, genuinely mimicking and responding accordingly with the sort of appropriate facial expressions, or if they're telling you something sad and you're just stone faced and you're not like, oh, like, with the grief frown furrow. If another person's facial expressions, which are quite hard to, even their micro expressions are quite hard to fake, maybe that then they don't have any empathy, and that might be a good early indicator of red flaggery. But then they're now talking about the fact that a psychopath, and I'm pretty sure Chase goes into a little story about it, that psychopaths go and practice this shit, and they do.
Mimic of empathy, even though they don't have it.
Yeah.
And so, sorry, that's like a
Kyle,
complicated
good to
two-part question, but like, is
see
it possible for someone to game these ways in which we discern whether someone is crazy or not?
Yeah, absolutely. They can game some of them, but a lot of them are based on, even if you're 40 years old, it's going to be based on like, what are your neighbors and parents going to say about you as a child? It's hard to game. Have you been arrested before for X, Y, and Z types of crimes? Were you in trouble in elementary, middle, high school for X, Y, and Z types of behaviors? That's why it's hard to game. And then a lot of the other parts of it are talking to coworkers, former bosses, friends, neighbors, and those kinds of things. It's hard to diagnose, or there's no diagnosis of psychopath, but it's hard to get somebody on that checklist because it requires a ton of research and work.
Yeah. But if you poll the audience, that's probably the best way, right? Because everyone's cued into the subtleties. And
so here's what I taught my son, actually. If you, all the expressions look good and everything looks great, do you feel bad after the conversation stops?
Do you feel bad when it stops?
Like, do you kind of
like
have
you wanted it to continue?
Yeah, but well, of course, if it's great, you want it to continue. But do you have a come down? So if I'm talking to a master manipulator, narcissist, psychopath, sociopath, whatever, and after that conversation, there's a drop in my feeling. That was dopamine, because they knew how to trigger all of these buttons in my head. But if after that conversation, it's like, wow, that was amazing. That's little serotonin, little oxytocin kind of mixed in there,
Basically,
these connection and bonding chemicals. So how do you, the best way that I've ever seen is, if someone's faking it, how does your heart feel? Like, how do you feel as a person after that conversation is over?
Wow. Fascinating stuff. All right. All the psychological things we've talked about today, these, I assume, get applied in a military or police setting for purposes of interrogation, right? Like extracting information from individuals. Yeah. Can you just start to tell me how that works? Like how are these things applied for interrogation?
So a lot of it, I'll just give you a quick interrogation course right here. So
perfect.
You want to go through a few different questions to figure out, like, did they likely do it? So do I need to be interviewing you or interrogating you? There's two different things. When I switch to interrogation, that means I think you probably did it,
Mhm.
or you probably have what I'm looking for, the information. We're going to start with something called a punishment question.
Mhm.
So let's say that you snuck 3 doors down to one of your neighbor's houses and kicked their trash can over.
Mhm.
Okay. And it's a big deal. And you get called in, but you know you're going to deny it, right? And you and I sit down and I say, hey man, look, is there any reason at all that anybody would say that they saw you walking in that area, or that it might show up on a camera or something? Because you don't have all the cameras clocked, right?
Mhm.
But I never told you that I did have that, or somebody did say those things.
Mhm.
So since we're starting the conversation with this,
Mhm.
I'm either going to, if you're innocent, you're gonna be like, no, absolutely not.
Mhm.
If you're guilty, now your anxiety is really high because I haven't told you what I know yet,
Mhm. Mhm.
and we're only one question in.
I like how it started with the reason too. Does that tie in earlier where you're talking about reason being kind of like the
No.
highest level?
No.
No, unrelated. Okay, so.
So is there any reason?
Mhm.
And you might say, well, I mean, yeah, I walked by. So you either, yes, I was there,
Mhm.
or no, I wasn't. And the moment you say no, you don't know whether or not I'm about to flip something on the table and
Mm.
show you a video, or bring in witnesses that
Mhm.
said that you were there, like 8 of them or something.
Mhm.
Like your brain is in high anxiety mode,
Mhm.
but it's only in anxiety mode if you're guilty.
Mhm. Mhm.
So an innocent person would be like, no,
Mhm.
absolutely not. And there's no anxiety spike at all. And then the next question is called the punishment question. And this is, what do you, it's not just this
Wait, I'm sorry.
simple.
What was the first? I thought the first one was punishment question. First one's different.
First one, I'm sorry, is a bait question.
Bait question.
Bait
Second.
question.
Okay.
And then a punishment question. And the punishment question is
Many times.
essentially, and I'm really breaking this down to
Yeah.
the bare bones here, but we're working really hard to find out,
My chair squeaking, by
what
the way, not
happened
me
and
farting.
who's behind this. And I'm just curious, what do you think should happen to the person that did this?
Hmm.
And that works so powerfully, especially on sex
don't.
crimes
I
and
don't.
people that have committed sex crimes. What do you think should happen to the person that did this? You're going to hear answers that soften to a crazy degree. Somebody's like, well, definitely an apology to the family, but somebody who does something like this is sick, so they need mental counseling. They don't need to go to jail. They need to get repaired because they're broken. They need counseling. No one's going to say that, especially if it's with a minor or something like that, right? So that question is really powerful. I've used that on my kids when they were younger. And if I'll ask a couple more questions after that, but if I have a reasonable suspicion that this person's guilty, I'm going to launch into this interrogation framework, which is socialize, rationalize, minimize, and project. Just those 4 things. And this comes from a Reed technique, which came from Hans Scharf, who was a German
Shut?
interrogator. He's the guy who kind of invented,
Shut.
hey, what if we're not an asshole to the people in the interrogation room? Like he kind of came up with this idea. And Hans Scharf, every interrogation formula used today in the world is a derivative of Hans Scharf.
Got it.
Shut.
Have you ever been to Disney World here in Florida?
Yeah, we were there just Christmas time. Yeah.
You know, when
This
you
is
walk in, that
torturous, this
giant
movie.
tile mosaic that's like 1,000,000 pieces of tile. It's like in the main entrance
In the castle or in the hotel?
castle.
I
He
think
doesn't
so.
remember.
Huge
Yes.
thing that you walk through. is
He doesn't
1,000,000 pieces of
remember.
tile.
Yeah.
Hans Scharf made that by hand.
Sidebar.
That's a story for another day.
What?
Another day.
Wow.
He's like,
So,
it's off screen.
socialize, minimize, rationalize, project. And minimize and rationalize can be swapped, but the other two can't.
Yeah.
So essentially, what I'm saying is, let's say you stole 10K from your company or something, and I'm
Definitely
talking
shot.
to you, and I might say something like, let me break it down first before I say it. So socialize, people are going to understand. Minimize, it's not a big deal. Rationalize, it makes perfect sense. Project, it's not your fault.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So with the socialize aspect of this, I would say, Robert, look, man, I think when people understand why this happened, everyone's going to understand, because anybody that's going to be in your shoes would have probably done that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's socialize, minimize. And man, let me tell you, I work with bad people every day. I work with horrible people
Mm-hmm.
every day. And the one thing I can say is this is not a big deal. I see people get over this every day and they go home.
Mm-hmm.
This is not something that has to be a big deal at all. And I've seen far worse. And if there's one thing I know, it's when I'm talking to a bad guy, and I
Mhm.
don't think you're one of them. Rationalize is next. So that was minimize. Now we're
Mhm.
going to rationalize. And one of the reasons that I came in here to talk to you today, was my day off today,
Mhm.
is they were telling me about you. And I think the same reason I came down here today is the same reason that this money is missing. I know that your aunt was dealing with cancer. I know she had some outstanding medical bills. And I don't think you did this for bad reasons. I don't think you're a bad person. And people make mistakes, and mistakes we can get over.
Mhm.
Lying about mistakes is something that's totally different.
Mhm.
And now I'm going to project. And to be frank, and I want to stop you from talking in between those two. So my hand comes up. I'm going to say, and to be totally honest with you, I've looked at that company's books. Let's call it Mako or something. I've looked at Mako's books. I've seen what they pay their employees. I think I would have done the same thing that you did. If they didn't want that to happen, they would have paid people fairly. And I think you were doing this for good reasons. And the final step is an alternative.
Miss Shorty, you're muted. Miss Shorty, you're muted.
Fuck, I was muted and I somehow slid it all the way through. God damn. Don't even. We weren't up to there. Pretend that didn't happen. I'm a fucking professional, okay? I'm like, what? Wait. Oh, what's that?
Little equation. Manipulation equals influence.
No. God damn it. I haven't done that for a long time. It's in the song. Where was that bone broth? There. Organs.
Forget multivitamins and other supplements.
Yeah.
Animal organs are the most nutrient dense foods on the
No.
planet. They
How
are
do they
prepared
even
well.
do
Body needs to
that?
thrive. Easily accessible. Accelerator could be for you on the world to
I
New York
didn't
City
hear.
to work with
Because we haven't
like-minded
said anything.
entrepreneurs. Funding. And this is exactly
Oh my God,
our
Delina.
relationships.
Okay. Sorry about that, chat. Walk and talk.
And I always thought it's just,
God
I'm
damn.
picky. I can't find anyone, whatever.
KKKKK. That's so sad of me. I am a professional. Just ask me.
The question, what is money, is
Oh
all
my
about
God.
exposure is protein diet, your care / breed love. I guess I'll ask a question that's sort of personal. On my own journey, I came to realize
The
that
bone broth fucked
in
me.
basically all human relationships, specifically romantic, like I had romantic relationships that would not persist very long, right? So I was like in and out of romantic relationships, and I always thought it's just, I'm picky, I can't find anyone, whatever. Inspired by a number of people, I started practicing radical truth in my relationships, where it's like, pre-radical truth, I would go into a dating situation with a woman and I'm like, here's my highlight reel. Let me play up all my strengths, and then let me not talk about all my weaknesses and problems and all that, right? Like that was the dating strategy, basically.
Yeah.
Once I started practicing radical truth, maybe I didn't do it correctly, but I basically inverted those two things. Like I went into dating settings, was like, look, here are my problems. Here's my baggage. Here's this. Here's how.
Pause. I'm going to say it did feel weird to me that it jumped from what they were talking to midway through something else. Did I look at the slider bar down the bottom? No, I absolutely did not. I am a professional. Come to me for more live streaming tips. I've got you. I have many titles. Irresponsible YouTuber is one of them.
Here's what past partners would complain about, and just like dumped it all on them right at the beginning.
It's the best. I love it, Kyle.
Those became my best relationships ever. And like now I'm married to a woman. Like we have reverence for radical truth in our relationship. Like we try to have, weekly sit down sacred spaces to do all this. What's the question here? Is that okay? I guess. Well, is there anything else we're missing in trying to establish really good relationships with human beings, or is it just trying to be radically truthful, or are there other pieces to it?
Yeah. So let me touch one more point on shame, because shame
please.
is contagious.
Oh my God.
Okay. If I'm in a relationship and man, if somebody's out there that might've hit a chord for you, please write that down.
Yeah.
It is contagious. If you, I'll tell you what I heard before when I was complaining to my mentor about something that I was ashamed about. And I was saying, like, I feel bad. And he's like, why do you feel bad? Because I should feel bad, because that was a negative thing that I did. Well, why should you feel bad? Because I shouldn't have done.
Was right on time, Grazer. This story, he fully admits that he has a leaning towards a degree of narcissism. And I've said this before in other ones of our spaces, even in the last 24 hours to a week. It takes a certain degree of narcissistic tendencies to rise to the pinnacle of one's career and to rise to the top of, particularly as someone who needs to put themselves out there as a media person. So we can, it doesn't mean he's a bad person. I've got a real soft spot for Chase, and I don't normally like fuckheads. So
Nah.
not these
And I
days.
made a choice.
I tried
A lot
them.
of this, and he's like, "Well, that's the most narcissistic
Scooting
thing I've
back.
ever heard." And I was like, "For when I was complaining to my mentor about something that I was ashamed about, and I was saying like I feel bad, and he's like, "Why do you feel bad?" Because I should feel bad because that was a negative thing that I did. Well, why should you feel bad? Because I shouldn't have done that. And I made a choice. A lot of this, and he's like, "Well, that's the most narcissistic thing I've ever heard." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "You believe that feeling bad now can change the past? Like you are that powerful?
Wow.
So you're a narcissist?"
I don't know. I think there's a lot of judgment in that statement, Grazer. I think he's pretty deep, actually, but that's okay. We can agree to disagree. He's also overcome a lot in terms of his health. He's pretty admirable. Nobody's perfect. I'd hate to hear what you think about me with all of my painted face on.
You think
Wow.
you're in control of past behavior, and carrying around this little bag makes you feel like a better person. So you're only doing it for yourself, which is also narcissistic.
It's so powerful.
So that day, shame in my mind was narcissism. Shame became narcissism in my head. And that was a big turning point for me.
Wow, that's a great connection to make. Yeah, okay. I want to share a little more about shame because it has been relevant to my life and then in my work with my therapist and whatnot. I didn't know this. I mean, it's kind of like an unconscious thing again until you try to do the work and figure it out. But I can say at this point that, well,
He's just
my
got
mom
some
was an
good ego,
alcoholic when I
some
grew
good
up.
healthy ego.
And so that presented a lot of problems in my life. And most of my friends had non-alcoholic parents. So as a kid, I think it felt unfair, felt upset, like, why do they have good parents and I don't have all that stuff? And that became shame that I carried into my adult life. Like I was ashamed of where I came from in a way. I didn't want to disclose it and share it with people. And I had probably blocked it in myself. And that, as you said it's contagious too. So like, how should people, because if it's unconscious, it's difficult to access. So like, how do people make efforts to access shame or sources of shame, perhaps, that are unconscious?
You mean access the source?
Well, I don't know which one are we accessing. I'm not really sure.
I don't think you need a lot of access to the source.
It's just like you're carrying around shame and you don't know why, but you want to do something about it. What do you do?
Yeah. And this is my opinion, and I've never said this before, but I think people are carrying around shame and they don't know where to put it because they haven't found where it belongs in this hero's journey of their life. So the shame is not like, oh, I had to go through this to become this. The shame was, I don't deserve, I shouldn't have had that. Other people had this, comparing myself to other people. It's more narcissism, a lot more narcissism.
Yeah.
I should have had access to more. I should have had a better life. Look at me. Let me compare myself to other people. Or was that part of this little Bruce Wayne origin story that I had to kind of dip through this thing to get this next little arc in my character arc for the show? And then you get back into being the main character without narcissism.
That's interesting. I heard it said once that the origin story of every hero and villain is the same. It's just they respond differently. It's like,
like the Joker.
So,
Damn, that was good.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Okay, what do I want to go with this now? So yeah,
while he's thinking of a new, is he? Wait, he's trying to work out words.
You know what it was? I think now I'm trying to like reflect on this honestly, but I think the self-limiting belief, I guess, that came from that shame for me in romantic relationships was I am too strange of a person and I just need to be alone. And I actually was good on my own. Like I'm a pretty hyper independent person I had to grow up fast for that. My mom being alcoholic and other reasons. I had to grow up pretty quick. So I was like a very hyper independent type guy.
can
And so
hope
I'm good
so.
on my own. And then I keep having these romantic relationships that aren't working out. So that reinforced my belief. And so I guess that shame became like the kernel of a self-reinforcing, self-limiting belief.
Yeah.
But then ultimately I was able to do something about that through, well, a lot through therapy, psychedelics.
Pause, Lainey. Yes, I agree with that. However, holding on to shame about something that you cannot change is toxic and counterproductive, in my opinion. And letting like shame is a prison. So shame at the time of something is important. Um, so that you correct your behavior. And you're right. So if you don't feel any shame at all, well, no, narcissists feel a lot of shame. You're a psychopath if you feel no shame. Narcissists feel a lot of shame and they'll do everything, anything and everything to deflect away from that shame, to push that shame onto somebody else. But the concept of radical self-forgiveness and radical truth, being true and radical about forgiving yourself, I think is a really important concept for me personally. And I think I've just put, Chase has just put a name to what I've been doing anyway, which comes back to acceptance, right? We've talked about acceptance last night a lot, I think last weekend in Psychology Corner. You can't change the past. You can only try to learn from the past and not make those same shameful mistakes again. But being kind to oneself and accepting the past and forgiving yourself for those mistakes, whether they're intentional or unintentional, is a really freeing mindset. So I could hold on to a lot of shame for the situation with my daughter, with my children, with my family, with my past, my work history, my drug history, my housing situation in the past, my inability to do a lot of adult things that really hold me back. But accepting the past and try to working on the future is one really important I think shame and guilt are wrapped up into one thing. No, so feeling shame, in my opinion, feeling shame is holding on to something which you cannot change. Guilt and shame are very similar, nuanced but similar, in my opinion. So I would be unable to function if I held the shame that I did used to hold for the outcome with my children. It's shameful, but I can't live in that shame forever. Yeah, knowing you did something wrong and got away with it, to me, that's shame. Yeah, I guess. I don't agree, but I can see where you're coming from, but I don't agree. Shame, because I didn't like shame for outcomes, which is a self-shame thing, can be depending on your personality and your set of tools that bring you to a point in life. Might not have anything to do with something you did wrong and got away with it. People feel a lot of shame. I mean, particularly neurodivergents feel a lot of shame for things that need not have any shame attributed to them whatsoever. I think EDB talks about that quite a lot. Yeah. Shame for. I have to actively not feel ashamed for the fact that and like Ms. What the fuck can testify to this. I feel a lot of shame for the things I cannot accomplish because of my limitations as the flavor of neurodivergent that I am. And so EDB definitely talks about that. You know, we do what we can do, and not attributing any shame to the things that we aren't able to manage is really important. And it's very freeing to be forgiving of oneself. That's just my take on it. Sentence.
Does that sound right? Is that connection like, do people get the shame kernel and then build something around it?
Yeah. And we call those behavioral magnets.
Okay.
So something bad happens to me, I can be a mirror for it. So I'm going to kind of reflect that.
Imitating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of imitate, or I can be an echo of that, kind of the opposite.
Okay.
So like, instead of imitating, I'm going to be the opposite person of that. I'm going to start this campaign of, no, you should never drink. I'm going to start sobrietyacademy.com. That may be a website. I just made that up. But
Yeah.
or we become the other thing. So like, I'm going to become the opposite of what was in control of me when I was younger, so that I can predict it. And the final thing is, I'm going to be the repeat.
Okay.
So if I can find a woman that's like my mom, I can put myself in the situation so that my open loop from childhood, I can figure out how to close it.
Wow.
So that's when you see people getting all these toxic relationships.
Yeah.
They're
If you
I have
haven't
all these
voted in the
unsolved
poll,
hero's journeys.
vote now.
Wow.
Vote now.
So if I can just plug that villain in again, I can redo that battle and figure out how to complete this little story.
Okay. So that sounds like something that's probably pretty widespread. People in these toxic relationships are unconsciously repeating mother wounds or father wounds or whatever the thing is. What, like, do you have directional advice for those people? Like, what if you think you're in that, these 3 steps will kind of lead you the right direction?
Yeah. It's going to be more complex than that. What I'll do is I'll send you a thing that they can fill out. It's a few pages long. That will give you every single detail that they need to go. You can put it in a PDF down in the description.
Put in the show notes. Okay, great.
Pause. Put it in the show notes. Okay, great. Now, I'm paranoid about that slider bar now. If you haven't voted in the poll for the song, it's looking like the Fray, Unfuck with the Bull, which is very pertinent to this conversation we're having at the moment about shame and guilt and holding on to things. Really interesting conversation. I think you better vote. I'm going to give you the 30-second delay, but I don't think there's any way we can overcome this outcome. Grazer says wait, I'll give you the minute. Grazer says you cannot live in the past. Yes, so radical self-forgiveness, I think, is how you get there. I mean, you can't not process the past though either. You have to spend some time processing the past and the demons. You all have done that, right? You and Laura both have done that, processing the demons, and it's all part of the journey. So everybody's on a different plot point on that journey, despite our ages and our cultural backgrounds and where we live in the world and our relationship status and our work status. I think we're all on different places in that acceptance of the past, but you can't move on from the past. I absolutely will die on this hill. You cannot move on from the past. It will never, ever, ever let you free of those shackles if you don't spend enough time, however long it takes, to work through the past and come to that point of acceptance and self-forgiveness. Radical self-forgiveness, I think, are all tied up in the same thing. But if you just shovel it away and look only forward, I think you've missed a step or two there. So I think we're on the same page, Grazer. You're just at a different phase in our journey, and it's I think it's really important to not kind of try to hammer into people where we are now in that phase, because not everyone's there yet, and we've all still got a long ways to go. I think that's what I think. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, Lainey. Guilt is a pointless emotion. See, I think regret and shame is very similar. and regret is a pointless emotion because you can't turn back time. I'm happy to disagree with you on that one, Laney, but I don't. Colors Flight, you are an oddball. You are an oddball. Grass is green enough says, for me, guilt is I did something bad. Shame is I am bad. Yeah, that's a good distinction. Remorse is a mix of guilt and regret and sorrow. Oh, grass is green enough coming in with the zingers. Make it merch. Guilt can motivate change. Shame leads to self-loathing. Remorse equals empathy and correcting past actions. Well, you win the conversation for today. That's perfect. So well articulated. I agree with all of that. All of that. Thank you. Very nicely articulated, ma'am. Now, I'm closing the poll. Have you voted? There's still only 15 votes. You've had your chance. We're going with the Fray unfuck with the ball, which is fantastic. So, what am I going to do? Fuck all these things. Goodness gracious. Great conversation. Great conversation. Look at you all. Look at you all. Look at us go. I love this. But every time, it's like every time I have to think about things very hard. My brain is melting down. I just wanted to sleep all day today. I am very tired.
Now some music. The supreme leader decrees it.
Seamless. Perfect.
Brave but scared, truth revealed. Does any of this matter? Fate, it's sealed. The battlefield. Step now into the fray. Twisting and turning, inevitable. Resets and yearning on fuck with the ball. Follow your instinct, your intuition. Deceit and betrayal, they orbit the sun. Humans, we are perplexing. Wonder about all that flaxing. Remind me again how we came to be friends. Your presence is just so vexing. Twisting and turning, inevitable. Resets and yearning, unfuck with the ball. Follow your instinct, your intuition. Deceit and betrayal, they orbit the sun. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No, you are not like me. 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. Battle isn't coming. 7, 8, and 9, and 10. 'Cause hell, here we go again. Twisting and turning, inevitable. Resets and yearning, unfuck with the ball. Follow your instinct, your intuition. Deceit and betrayal, they orbit the sun. Peace is the goal, we bearing our soul. Tyranny and projection. So who will it be if it isn't me? Delivering protection. Brave but scared, truth revealed. Does any of this matter? Fate, it's sealed. The battlefield. Step now into the fray. Twisting and turning, inevitable. Receipts and yearning, unfuck with the ball. Follow your instinct, your intuition. Deceit and betrayal, they orbit the sun. Fate, it's sealed. The battlefield. Step now into the fray.
My favorite thing about I love that song so much. My favorite thing about that song is though that when I was screen recording it, because the way I do my songs is anyway, at the end to get them into the point where it's a usable video, even though that one's just a solid image. It's not got no video. I screen record it. And when I was doing the screen record of that one, I was charging my phone and it uncharged and charged for a second. And so the charge comes in there. It's hilarious. I can redo it easy peasy. And I'm just never going to because it's so fucking funny. Hey, now Simi asked for a baby chameleon for Kyle. Which one is it? Which one, the old one or the new one? I'm not sure. Miss What the Fuck, do you want to pop it on? Do you want to pop it on whichever one it is? I don't know. There's two. There's so many chameleon baby
chameleon. Chameleon. You say chameleon, right? I say chameleon. I'm autistic. How dare you? How do you say it? Okay, fine. How do I say Aldi? What was the other one that I said to you? All lolled and lolled. Sadistic. What else? Sham wow. When she says the macrame. How am I supposed to say macrame? Oh my God. How dare you? This is an onslaught of assault. Well, how am I supposed to say it? What do you want me to? I don't know how to say it. I didn't talk to people. I read books. The number of times I say hyperbole instead of hyperbole is not even funny. I thought determined was determined for about 15 years of my life. What else? It's okay, let's pile on. Pile on, Shorty. Pile on, Shorty. I deserve it. I've been piling on a few of you. Oh, you are so picked on by me. Apologies. Chameleon. I don't want to say chameleon. To me, it's chameleon. You all suck. I love you all so much.
That was Colors. Wasn't that you, Colors, when I said you are so picked on? I'm pretty sure that was to you, Colors. Oh, cute. Hey, no, we're all just. I love that we're sharing thoughts and our viewpoint. I think it's a really interesting conversation. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that any of us have really thought about this as deeply as we are now in talking about it together. I love it. We're in a safe place, and everybody's got amazing things to contribute, and I love it so much. I love it so much. I love you all so much. You all suck. I love you all so much. Case in point. Oh, wait, what's it doing? Fuck, I don't know how to do this. What are we doing? Oh, my God. Why am I like this? Okay, let's go back to the bros. He was thinking of something. He was trying to decomplexify things, and I think he's there.
Fantastic. Okay, let me ask you, we had manipulation on here. I think it was number 4. That had an interesting little equation. Manipulation equals influence plus deception.
Yeah.
So how do we protect ourselves from manipulation? I guess that would be the first question. And then the second question is like, well, how do we not manipulate other people? Because influence isn't, well, it matters, right? If you're trying to sell anything or build a business or do anything, it's like, well, you need to have influence and be open to influence to some extent, but there's some boundaries there that need to be maintained.
Yeah. And it's always going to be a gray area.
Yeah.
But
sorry, Chase, I just have to. I have to defend myself on the. I know that Karma Chameleon is the song. As a child of the 80s or 70s, but listening to that song in the 80s on the radio, I don't think I necessarily ever saw it written down. Fuck. Oh. And so I think even now there's a disconnect for me in that song is chameleon. Ooh. As in the way chameleon is spelled. I can't. It's 50 years.
I mean, you might as well let baby Shorty explain it.
Oh, do I? Do I explain it as a baby? Yeah, let's do it. Where is it? You go. Joe, I understand that. In my brain, chameleon is not the same as chameleon, because chameleon is what I read in books, and chameleon, I never saw that song written. So I stand by chameleon, and I will continue to stand by chameleon because I can. Look, it's a running joke right here. I can't say shit for shit, and I'm the first one to go, you know what, it's actually pronounced. I understand how obnoxious that is. I do understand how obnoxious that is. I very much appreciate that I am often obnoxious. Woozy, you know it's going to be a clip. Rife, Miss What the Fuck is rife for clippable material when it comes to Camp Shorty. Chamomile. No, I said chamomile, see? Because I never read chamomile. I heard it be said. I'm trying. I'm really trying. I'm 50. It's very hard. That's what she said. It's hard to break these habits. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. We're fine. Yes, I know your game is what the fuck.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of laughing at, and I'm fine with that. I laugh at myself also. If you can't laugh at yourself, then what can you laugh of? And I am a fucking joke. Let's be honest. Thank you, Akasha. I feel seen and validated. I love you. I love you very much. Akasha gets me. Oh my God, I can't. So funny. Hey, Shabooks, good to see you. Yeah, I'm 50. Oh, they're so funny. Oh my God, chartreuse. God damn it. How are you supposed to say it? Also, chartreuse is like a greeny puce color, not pink. Weird.
You got it right. You're good.
Yes, chartreuse. Da-da-da. Wait, while we're at it, look, obviously it's Friday. We've gone feral. I can say things. Okay, wait. Here's another baby shorty. This is a cool one. This one. I wish Hedda was here. Hedda. Stress. In one breath. Hedda Kashevsky Bedrezky. Thanks. Oh my God. Acacia. No, acacia. Wait, oh my God.
You're close.
Jeez Louise. What is it?
Try it again. You're close.
You suck? Okay. What? I didn't even know what that word is, and I know the words. Goodness
It's a
gracious.
tree.
Acacia? Don't. You guys are so mean to me.
It's acacia.
Acacia. I struggle with. I what's that stuff? That berry yogurty shit? ACAI? Is that what it says? I don't even know.
You know what? I'll probably get that wrong. I think it's acai or something like that.
See? Now
I've
you're
heard
going
people.
in the
Nah, because I'm the one that clips it. So boo.
charcuterie. That's how you say that one. Charcuterie. Yes, I can do that one because people say that, and then I saw it and I'm like, oh, they connect. That's the same word. Acai.
So I said it right. Acai.
Yes. Oh, what are you working on in the background? God damn you.
You'll see it when it's done.
Okay.
It's hard to work on while we're streaming. It takes a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah. Acai streaming. Okay, we're going back to the bros, y'all.
Am I concealing intent?
Mm-hmm.
Am I
That's
concealing
bad.
pronunciation?
So that's
Am I
step one. Like, hey, are you concealing intent?
Mhm.
Okay. That if we check that off, no, I'm not. Okay, let's go to step two.
Mhm.
Step two is,
You guys.
am I worried about doing this? Like, do I feel extremely good, like I'm helping someone, or like I'm not helping someone?
Yes.
I feel like I'm helping them. Okay. Then we go to step three. If the other person could see inside of your head
Mhm.
and they could see the outcome, would they most likely still take the same action? And that's how
preventing
I find
you from manipulating other people.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I mean, influence and persuasion is a tool, like a scalpel.
Yeah.
You can murder somebody with it. You can save somebody's life. So the ethics are never in the tool. The ethics are in the user. But those are the three things that when people start training with me online or in person, we go through those three questions and say, if ultimately, if the other person could see inside of your head, would they be terrified?
Probably.
Right, okay.
Frankly.
So then that's how you practice not manipulating other people.
Yeah.
How do you guard against manipulation from other people or by other people?
That's very tough. I don't think I'm immune in any way. And I'm
This is
the guy writing books on this stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it's exactly what we were talking about earlier, getting it into the sunlight and making it a conscious process of understanding what all of these things are.
Yeah.
Helps you to the moment that this stuff starts happening, you're like, whoa, that thing that I learned about just got triggered in my head because I've studied it or I felt it.
Yeah.
The awareness of not the tactics, not like, oh, he's using the technique number 17B or something.
Yeah.
But the awareness of what governs manipulation and influence. And it's the 4 things that govern the mammalian brain, not the human brain, but mammalian brain that's in our heads too, is focus, authority, tribe, and emotion. Can I learn to spot how someone's capturing and leading my focus, pretending to be or signaling that they have authority, pretending that all this tribe agrees with some kind of decision or triggering emotional stuff in me? I mean, if you look at focus, authority, tribe, and emotion, you can manipulate humans that way.
Fate.
It spells fate.
Yeah.
Because it becomes our fate.
Yeah.
Or you can train a dog. If you watch Cesar Millan, Dog Whisperer, it's focus in that order: authority, then tribe, then emotion, then the reward at the end. Right.
The way is in training. That's one of my favorite quotes by Musashi, and it has so many different meanings. But
yeah,
there's an entrainment process here too. So if you're aware of the FATE acronym, then you'll at least have conscious awareness if someone. I mean, it's still probably hard to detect, but you're more likely to detect it.
Yeah.
If you have that conscious awareness.
Yeah. But if someone's triggering those things and you're not very well versed, if you do a survey of and go ask everybody on the street, like, are you easily manipulated? 100% of people are going to say no.
Yeah, of course.
I'm good, dude.
Yeah.
I'm going to know when it's coming.
Yeah.
And then you go see the psychological research, like the Milgram experiment, where people thought that they were shocking someone to death. 67% of people went all the way to the end.
Yeah. That was just the authority, right?
Pause. I can't remember what I was going to say. Something. I went off camera for a second to take a photo. I'm just cleaning my photos, my phone screen to show you all like this. I looked over at the bed for the dog and the cat. Well, it's technically the dog bed, right? And Buster and Timmy, no, bless. Wait, can I do this? Can she do it? Look at Buster and Timmy. Oh my God. Green screen fucking me up. Look at them head to head curled up together. Oh, the cuties. I feel like I was going to say something else about this. Wait, but not just the photo. But I can't remember now. It'll come to me as soon as I press play.
Mostly.
Yeah.
And focus.
Yeah.
Because novelty triggers focus. And they were all in a building they'd never been in. People they'd never seen, doing stuff they'd never done. But
God, bro's finally taken his foot off Chase's fucking coffee table. Amazing. I know what I was going to say. Walk and talk chat. Remember how I have this cute pirate flag tattoo that I got about a year ago, probably almost to the day, frankly, that turned out to be not the best decision in terms of a permanent mark on oneself. And remember how the reason that I am fine with that tattoo, even though it symbolizes something really not fine, is because I thought I knew everything about predators, manipulators, narcissists, toxic folk, all of it. So I thought that I could spot everything. I was so sure of myself. I had hubris and ego telling me that would never happen again. And it did happen again. So another dark personality came into my life, and it took me a month after that. Well, anyway, after the catalyst for the end of that, to appreciate that person was very, very dark, So I keep that tattoo. I will never get it removed. Excuse me, to remind me to always have humility and never think that I know everything, that I don't, nobody knows everything. And I know a lot about this subject, narcissists, dark personalities. But that hubris, that once you think you know everything, you actually don't know anything. So that's a great reminder. In fact, I drove past a tattoo removal place. They're everywhere. And I saw it and I was like, oh, interesting. Maybe I could. And I was like, no, Lisa, you keep that. You keep that forever, to remind you to never, ever, ever think that you know everything, not just about those kind of people, but in life. So it's an ugly fucking reminder too, because it's a terrible tattoo. Ugh, I'm stuck with it. That's my penance. No regrets. Pardon me. No regrets. I've learned a lot, and that's the biggest lesson of them all right there. Back to the bros. Something.
But if those people got education and like, here's your focus, here's how authority is tripwired.
Yeah.
The tribe, the emotion, the mammalian brain was hacked.
Yeah.
So 250 volts is enough to kill you. 100%.
Sorry, Simi. Simi says background checks aren't rude. They're self-security. It wouldn't have, frankly, and Colors can attest to this. A background check wouldn't have. A background check wouldn't have. Miss what the fuck's like. Don't talk about it. Back on topic. I'll finish this here. We'll land it. We'll land it. But a background check wouldn't have helped me at all. It took Colors and her offsider 3 or 4 weeks of almost continuous searching to uncover that information. And frankly, it didn't even occur to me. I'm a terrible researcher. You know me. What was the one we were looking up? Wendy Adelson's. Who was it? And I found Raython. And it wasn't it at all. Was it Wendy Adelson? Something. Yeah, you do. But it didn't even occur to me. Yes. I'm just saying it's not that simple. It wasn't. It is now. Google that person, you will get it straight away, because that many people have looked into it. And now when people come in and say, she could have looked, it's right there. Yeah, it's right there now, because it's changed the algorithm. Anyway, back to it. Oh my God, all these. I wish I had my second monitor. I don't know what happened there. I'm the worst. I'm such a Gen X boomer.
Up to that level.
Wow.
100%.
So I'm going to go back.
Imagine if the people they've never seen doing stuff they've never done. But if those people got education and like, here's your focus, here's how authority is tripwired.
Yeah.
The tribe, the emotion, the mammalian brain was hacked.
Yeah.
So 250 volts is enough to kill you. 100% went up to that level.
Wow.
100%.
Crazy.
And imagine if you surveyed all of those people.
Crazy.
100% of them would say, no, I would never do anything like that.
Yeah,
Stupid.
yeah.
You have to be a psychopath.
Right.
So those are the 4 things that influence the mammal. And there's 6 things outside of that little ring. Maybe I'll send you a graphic that you can put in the notes.
Yeah, please. We'll put it on the screen.
And that is focus. And there's 2 types of focus. We have animal focus, which is like novelty, new information, stick breaking behind the bush at night kind of focus. Then we have human focus. And the human brain focuses on social gain or like social hierarchy. I have some kind of value socially to you, or a social threat. That's human focus. Then we have openness, like vulnerability and stuff, connection, suggestibility, compliance, and expectancy. The cool thing is you only need, if you get 3 of those 6, you can manipulate a human being. You don't even need all 6. You just need 3. So if I just get you extremely focused, I level up your level of compliance like crazy, and I get your suggestibility up high, I can get you to do anything. I don't need to feel a connection with you. I don't need any kind of rapport.
Wow.
If you look at the Milgram experiment, where is a quick 10-second recap. They had these people that they thought they were shocking someone else at Yale University up to 450 volts. And it was crazy. But there was no connection. There was no openness.
They were separated by rooms, right?
Yeah, like a piece of drywall.
But they could hear the screaming.
They could hear the screaming.
Okay, yeah.
And around 350 volts, there was no more screaming and no more answers on the test. It was dead silence. And the experimenter, the dude in the lab coat, was like, any non-answer must be treated as an incorrect answer. Please continue. Kept on going, which is frightening.
Yeah.
But this was during the Nuremberg trials after Nazi Germany and stuff. And Dr. Stanley Milgram, his parents were Jewish. They fled the Nazis, and all these Nazis are on trial saying, "I was just following orders."
Right.
Just following orders.
Yeah.
So he kind of tried to recreate this environment. But that, if you look at the Milgram experiment, there was no openness. There's no connection. They just had the focus. They had compliance, and they had suggestibility.
Yeah.
That was it. And there was no expectancy, which was the final item.
Right. Where does authority play into the 6 then? The guy in the lab coat?
Yes.
That's the suggestibility, or where does?
So that authority levels up focus because there's an authority figure there.
Yeah.
And it levels up the suggestibility. And from the very beginning, here, have a seat right here. Take this pen. Put your name down right here. Come in this room.
Compliance ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's compliance escalation. Yeah.
This is what the pandemic was all about, as far as I can tell.
Oh, yeah.
Just getting people habituated to following whatever the arbitrary decree is. That's a whole nother tangent. But I wanted to go back. Something you said earlier, concealment of intent, right? If you want to ensure I'm not being manipulative consciously, the first box I needed to check, I think you said, was, am I concealing any intent in this interaction?
It doesn't mean, do I have to be openly talking about it the whole time? But it's instead
You're
of
not
like,
misleading them consciously, basically.
Yeah. So it's like, here's a flyer. We're doing a seminar tonight. And if you stick around for the whole thing, we're going to teach you about these timeshares, and I'm going to give you a free toaster oven. And nobody tells you you're getting a sales pitch, right?
Right.
That's the kind of stuff where there's manipulation.
Okay. So was that concealing intent? Because it sounded like she was saying everything that she's going to do.
No, she said, we're going to teach you about this stuff.
Oh, okay. But the intent's to sell you the
I don't
condo.
know what the sales pitch is.
Yeah.
I know
okay.
that that's really very concealed.
You got it.
Guy knocks on your door and says, I'd like to demonstrate how good this Kirby vacuum cleaner is. Very open.
Pause. It's horrifying. That was quite a long time ago, right? Colors says that experiment actually rewind. That experiment actually messed those people up in the study, and they became alcoholics or took themselves out. So laws had to be written about experiments. Yes. So now there's a lot like that's just like the mind fuckery involved in that. It's horrifying. Horrifying. I'm looking for a natural break point in this episode because we've been going for 2.5 hours almost, and that'll take us to about halfway through the episode, and we can do part 2 next weekend. 1961, says Grass. Yes, wow, things have changed. I mean, ostensibly things have changed. A lot of fuckery still goes on, but it's done under the shadows and isn't in published studies. That's my understanding.
Board. Got it. Okay.
And very successful. Still very successful.
Yes. Okay. So the question I wanted to ask about that is, that sounds perfectly correct. But then I think of what Sun Tzu said, something like all warfare is based on deception.
Yep.
And so this is a problem I've struggled with philosophically. It's like every other human is a potential threat or enemy at all times because people can do whatever in a moment, right?
Yeah.
So how do we, and maybe this goes all the way to Christ, because I was going to say the philosophical question is like, how do you decide, are you dealing with a friend
They
or
still
foe?
do that shit. They just don't tell us
But then
about
the Christic answer is love thy enemy, which I think is probably one of the most difficult commands or suggestions he gave us.
He never said get shot by the enemy.
Correct.
Right. So I think the military has a very clear pathway to determine is this a friend or a foe? It's does that person have the capability to kill me? Check. Okay. Do they have the opportunity to kill me? So like if I had a gun on my hip right now, do I have capability and opportunity? Yeah.
Yikes.
Third thing on the triangle is intent.
I know that's the hardest one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if I say I'm going to kill you and then I stand up and start drawing my weapon, that's intent.
Sure.
I've demonstrated intent.
Yeah.
I think that's probably not a great breaking point, but we're going to call it there. We might scoot back a little bit to the start of that sort of thought pattern. Britt, I think you'll find that there's 2 layers of studies and experiments these days. There's the ones that have all of the legally binding parameters, which cannot be crossed for fear of litigation and social
or make up a word. I can't. I was going to be, being a social and moral pariah. There's certain things that on their face, ostensibly, cannot be done and will not be tolerated. I have a feeling, ramifications. I have a feeling, good word, that there's a lot that still goes on because the show must go on, right? Intelligence. And actually, the conversation with the bros is about to turn to that. It's very interesting, but we're pausing it. We'll take it up there. Excuse me. Oh my god, clear my throat. Gross. Exactly. These days aren't supposed to do things like the milligram anymore because potential psychological harm, deception, and distress. It still happens covertly. Yeah. We just don't hear about it. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Wait. Clearing my throat. Hang on. Well, hey, thank you so much, everybody, for the amazing conversation. We had laughs. We had deep and meaningful philosophical discussions. I love it. Psychology Corner is the best. And oh my goodness, my mouse. Yikes. I'm like why am I like this? Oh my god, and my microphone's falling down. It's all going to shit. Well, now this and that. Hey, so enjoy the rest of your Saturday night or Sunday if you're in Australia or wherever you are. Have a great week. TBC on all of the scheduling for next weekend. Not sure. IDK. We'll see what happens with Donna Adelson. We'll do the rest of that. We'll do court all day Saturday night. All day 7 in Jesse Kochevsky. I'd say we'll do it all in one go Saturday night. Just one thing. Don't forget to check out the merch store. Discount code SPOOKY. I'm stressed about how I say that now. SPOOKY for 10% off site-wide. Brand new merch things dropping all the time. Cool designs, amazing designs, Ms. What the Fuck mostly, and me a little bit. Work so hard on it. No, not me at all. There's seasonal stuff, camp spooky stuff. Get in there if you want to get it before Halloween. You've got probably about another, what's the date? You probably got another, depending on where you live in the States, about another few days that you can still get it delivered in a timely fashion. Spooky. Lainey says, I know I hate it when Camp Shorty ends. I know I hate it too. I forgot to have breakfast this morning, and have I even had cheese? No. I'm surprised my tummy hasn't started going because it was loud last night. So that Camp Spooky merch for seasonal stuff, Halloween, spooky code. All proceeds go straight back into my beautiful mod squad. No cents, no dollars for me. We'll do the merch raffle draw next weekend, assuming I can do a little bit more grifting. And that's all. Thank you, Ms. What the Fuck. Thank you, my beautiful mods. Thank you, Shorties. The link to this bro chat is in the description box already. Like I already did it like a full professional. So if you did want to watch it without you can. But I think is the best part, surely. Don't put your feet on any tables, okay? Particularly not if you're in Chase Hughes's home. Don't put your feet on the coffee table. It's like a number one rule. Woozy says, I can't wait to be eligible for a merch draw someday, lol. Well, you know what? I reckon Ms. What the Fuck says don't pick me if you draw my name out. So we'll stick a pin in that, Woos. You never know. You could manifest that shit. See you all next weekend. I love you all very much. Was just writing that. Yes, I know. Same brain is what the fuck. Hey, be kind to each other. Be patient with people and be patient with yourself. And let's try practicing some radical self-forgiveness. It's amazing. You're amazing. Peace.
I love you all so very much. We had a blast just chatting and stuff. Things may have gone a bit off the rails, professional when all else fails. 'Cause chat is babe, so much to say. Emotes and all the caps out. May have been cheese, bit faster please. The time has come, Camp Shorty out. We're skating through all the tough things, learning about this and that, defense motions, prosecution, and narcissistic twats. 'Cause chat is babe, so much to say. Emotes and all the all caps out. May have been cheese, but faster please. The time has come, Camp Shorty out. Community, just you and me. Occasionally, Buster and Poppy. It's the whole thing, Miss Shorty swing. Together we make each other happy.